Welcome to Archangel Revelations and Prophecies 444. Now, a viewer contacted me, and one thing she said, nothing is coincidental. So, that will be a theme that I'll be using. Uh, she just trusted in spirit. A lot of people say love and light, or they say they trust in spirit, but unfortunately, they do not. But this one trusted in this person who requested this natal chart trusted in spirit, and everything worked out well. And she's wise enough to know you need your natal chart. There's no reading you'll ever get that's going to be as important as your natal chart. You might get a reading from somebody and you get some good news or something, but nothing's going to be more important than your natal chart, because it really is your Bible for you, your personal Bible from the universe for you, your life on this planet and where you come from. Now, as I begin, it's 4:43 p.m., July 9th. It's about to be 4:44, but even 4 and 4 is 8, 8 and 3 is 11. That breaks down to the number 2. And even the number 9 is important, because the funny thing is, just July 9th, and it had something unique happen where somebody called me, but they called me exactly at 3:33 p.m. And what's unique about that is my twin called me a year ago on this same date. Guess it was July 9th, 2017, if I'm not mistaken. But it definitely was the 9th. A lot of synchronicities with the numerologies and things like that. Oh yeah, and today Jupiter went direct. This evening Venus will be in next to Regulus. Regulus is the heart of the lion. Leo constellation. I am a Leo with Regulus. That will be my heart. I also have heart situations, and Venus will be in there. So as above, so below. Like she said, there are no coincidences. Now, early in the morning, the moon is with Pallades, and Pallades is the 7-star system, and Jesus called it the 7 candles in Revelation chapter 1, and the book of Job talks about Pallades. And they were also in Aldebaran, close to Aldebaran, which is in the Taurus constellation, the bullseye. And Venus rules both Libra and Taurus. And just recently, my niece called me, and that's the first time my niece has ever called me, because I gave her and my nephew some money, and she called me. She's a Libra. Her father is the Taurus, and she was born at 3:33 a.m. So nothing is accidental or coincidental. And when people really trust spirit, you know that. And that's the difference between people who say they trust spirit, but they really don't. They're still overly suspicious. Because this person could have said, I was actually trying to help her. But I get that a lot. I'm trying to help, and just people won't come out of their third dimension. But she did. So that's why I said things happen for a reason. And I'm always open to the universe. So things happen for a reason. There are no accidents or coincidences. And I am listening. But I'm also wise enough to know when somebody just is not going to submit to the universe. They want to steal from astrology or whatever they're doing, and they don't give back. And you can't do that. You have to give something. There's been people I've helped as far as say, okay, donate to charity, and then I'll do something. It's things I've done. So that's why I said, because of these blood moons, Friday the 13th will be a new moon. And then Friday the 27th will be a blood moon in Aquarius. And because of these, like God told me to wrap it up. Like, I've been in ministry for well over 40 years. And God basically told me to wrap it up. He told me to do it differently. That's why on the spiritual channel, that's pretty much shut down just for a couple of videos to help encourage people to do the right thing as far as walking in the spirit. Because that's really what you're supposed to be doing. When you say love and light or you're running to astrology, it's still going to spirit, because spirit created everything. And the more you grow, the more you understand everything is one. That's when you know you're leaving the matrix of third dimension, and you're going to higher vibrations, higher frequencies, because you realize all of this stuff is one, and there's no need to be arguing over this and that. So You can only get that way though when you stop being selfish, stop using astrology. Oh, what about love and bubblegum astrology and stuff like that. Stop using these wonderful sacred sciences and arts that spirit gave us. Stop using them for selfish, low level, third dimensional readings. And that's why I said, that's why a lot of people don't like me, because I tell them the truth. They would rather I sit here and lie to them and just take their money and just tell them, oh, love, oh, Venus in the 7th house, oh, yeah. They just take their money. As long as you make them feel good, that's bubblegum astrology, feel good astrology. And they keep going for it. But God is making major changes now with all these blood moons. Because that's kind of like I said, at the end of the day, that's stealing from God. That's coming to God's realm of astrology, getting what you want and never really growing or obeying spirit. So you do get your natal chart. When you walk with spirit, you can always get card reading. Any card reading you get once you have your natal chart, now you know exactly what's going on. Because whatever those cards are saying, it's going to take you back to your natal chart. And she's going to realize that when we go in. And the more you do this, the more you grow. Doesn't mean your whole life is going to change overnight. But what it means is you start to know the universe has got you. You know. Because like I said, I've been going through a whole lot, but I know the universe is in control. So more and more I've been falling back. And the more I do what I'm told to do, the better my life gets. Because like I said, I'm always trying to help people, but very few of those people do anything in return. They just take. So then my energy is being drained. And then things I need to get done, I can't do it because I have no energy. Because I'm giving, nobody's giving back. And the Archangels warned me about that when I first started using the Archangel cards. That was the first thing they told me. You have bad karma. I said, how do I have bad karma when I'm always giving? They said, exactly. You never ask back. And then that's when I started changing. And now it's like, okay, everybody gets cut off. Anybody that's just leeching, all cut off. Because it's killing me. And I can see my health is getting better. Life is getting better. So what I'm saying, the same thing with love. People looking for love. It'll all get better if you really walk with spirit. But sometimes we just get desperate and then we jump into stuff. And, nobody's perfect. We are going to make mistakes. But you want to just trust spirit. Like sometimes, believe me, people respect you more when you stand on your principles. Even if they don't understand it at first or don't like you. Because I was just in a meeting like that. And this guy was getting furious at me. And I was just like, nah. And he was like threatening me, like, you better do this or I'm going to do this. I was like, nah, not going to do it. But he's like, look at me like I'm crazy. But then I go out on the floor and God is blessing me with a lot of completed deals and all kind of stuff. So they're mad because they don't know what to do with me. We don't like this guy. I'm not responsible for how you perceive me. And you don't understand spirituality. The more spiritual you are, the more challenges you will face. And you got to learn how to get through it. That's why you need people in your corner. And I'm out here trying to help people. But I said, very few were giving back. Some of them were. But very few was doing anything for me. But it's taking. So now I got to change that whole dynamics. And do it differently. So that's all it was with this person. They told me what the situation was. And I'm looking because I'm listening. Because I know divine timing. And I already knew. So like I said, I went into our supermarket. For a while, I had no job. I had no money. And then I had some money, so I love to give. I'm not like all this stuff I see out here. Like people want to, I'll give them something because they made me feel good. Or something like, but that's not the type of giving God's talking about. In fact, the Messiah said, give the people who can't give back. So I'm more on that. I'm on higher vibrations. So I just got in line one morning, and there was a woman there. And she was like an older black woman. She had a bicycle helmet on. And she was in line with her, she just had a couple of things. And she basically said, as soon as she seen me, she said, oh, I hope I could pay for this. So, she might have, I don't know if she was scamming or nothing, but someone just told me, yeah, I got her. I told the cashier immediately, I got her. Don't worry about it, I got her. Put on me. So I paid for her. Me and her had a good conversation, talked about a couple of things. And she even said some stuff to me. She said, I don't really believe in church, but I do believe in feeling. So what she was saying was metaphysical, whether she knew that or not. She's talking about intuition. And then when I came home that day, I saw the beautiful white sun, and that's the first time I've ever seen the white sun like that. Plus, it was back in the east, Because for a while, the sun was way out there in the southeast. And we're saying, what is the sun doing rising in the southeast? That's a little awkward. That's a little weird. But there's different things. Like the higher up with metaphysics you get, the more you'll understand it. You know, there's at least 3 suns up there. And that white sun will go inside of the red sun. And then there's like a sun behind that. Like there's one, it's a white sun inside of like a yellow sun. And then behind the yellow sun is a red sun. And sometimes it'll be 3 of them. Sometimes it won't be. Like if you're watching the skies, like the Messiah said, look up, you'll see it. And you can see all this stuff I'm talking about on YouTube. Now, all this stuff we're also doing on a new channel that God has sent me to. So again, I told people, you know, instead of just coming here stealing information and leaving, it's better off for you to be on a channel like that. Because ultimately, I will end up on, this channel may not exist no more. So that channel, and most people understand the wisdom, you get a free newsletter if you're on the channel. Because if you just got the newsletter by itself, that's already $12 just by itself. So when you join the location, you get the newsletter anyway. Then you get everything that comes in with all the videos and everything else that's going on. Because I do music and stuff like that as well. Right now, I haven't been playing for a while, so I'm just coming back to an experimental stage. But I love experimenting, you know. I love experimenting. So it's so easy to just write a song and have everybody, oh, that's a great song. That's easy, believe it or not. I've been doing that my whole life. But I like doing the stuff that makes you like think. Even like I took a song one time I wrote, and I used to do TV on a public access channel out here in New Jersey. And it was a female that was with me. So she didn't really like the song when she first heard it. But because she was doing a show with me, I asked her when she played the girlfriend in the video. So she did the whole video. And after she did the video and got the feeling of what I was saying, then she said, that's a great song. You know, but it took all of that for her to realize that was a great song. See, I like to make people think. I don't like to deal with people that are dumbed down. So when I see somebody that's not afraid to trust spirit or take a risk, I'm all for it. Because that's what you should be doing anyway. Instead of always looking for the easy way out, looking for somebody to rob, steal some information out the channel, stuff like that. Because what you put into that universe is what you're going to get back. And then when something happens in your family or something happens to you or your relationship goes downhill, you can't figure out why. Well, that's because you were selfish. You used astrology for the wrong purpose. And you didn't do what you were supposed to. And you put that bad karma in, and you got bad karma back. And then sometimes bad things happen to good people, but that's why I said you got to be fortified. But spirit, if you're really walking in the spirit, you'll get through it. So that's really what love and light really means. That's the real definition. Not just saying a catchphrase and then staying in darkness and selfishness. So now that I've said all that, anybody joining a new channel, contact me for further information to join a new location. But for right now, we're going right into the first house. As you see, her sun sign and her ascendant is Taurus. Now, if you notice, I see number 18 a few times on the chart, 18 degrees. And now her 12th house has become the first house because of the ascendant and the east point. Usually when your first house has become the 12th house, you usually have some type of unfinished business from a past life. And because you see that Taurus sitting there, it's going to be some type of Taurus energy or Gemini energy. Because why do I say it? Because Mercury. And Mercury is a communicator, the ruler of Gemini. It could be Virgo energy, but it may or may not. But see, the 12th house is opposite of the 6th house. The 6th house is ruled by Virgo. But now, Taurus rules the 2nd house. And like I said, you see Gemini right there. So you know you got some Gemini. You got some closure. You got some closure going on with Gemini and Taurus energy. And because Aries rules the 1st house, and your Aries is right there. It says 11, but that has become the 12th house because they actually made your 12th house the 1st house. So those 3 energies, Aries, Taurus, and Gemini, you have some unfinished business, which we'll learn more about as the chart proceeds. But the challenge is you're going to have communication problems because of that Mercury retrograde. So before I explain more, I want to learn more about the sun. the 12th house. All right, give me one moment. Just to let you know that the 12th house is about bringing out what is hidden. Bringing out what's in your subconscious mind, which is why we should pay attention to our dreams, maybe have a dream journal. In fact, we should even have a journal when we're just walking around if we really want to know what's going on. But anything that's hidden, anything that's in the closet, anything we may be repressing or hiding, the 12th house is saying bring it out so you can reckon with it, do something about it, and also even get healing so you can move on. The 12th house can also deal with buildings, such as hospitals, courthouses, police stations, prisons, jailhouses, church, any building. And the 12th house also is where we're supposed to use whatever is in the 12th house to help other people. Now, Taurus means well. Now, this is the deal about Taurus. Taurus attracts people. In fact, when you're a Taurus, people will just be trying to come up to you and just find their way in. And you might walk in a room where everybody's saying, hey, we'll go left, we'll go left. But somehow they'll try to pull you into the conversation, even if you're trying to mind your business. And if you say something like right might be the better way to go, all of a sudden they'll start going, yeah, we'll go right, we'll go right. And just to show you proof of that in history is Adolf Hitler. He was a Taurus. And he got that whole nation to just do whatever he wanted them to do. So that's the power of a Taurus. And they can have charisma. They could be very attractive people, but they have magnetism. But they just have to be careful in the 12th house because sometimes the 12th house, you're supposed to like help people. In other words, it's a self-sacrificing house, but not to martyr yourself. That's what I'm saying. I do a lot, but you can't kill yourself helping people, especially when they don't give back. And that's what happens when you're in the 12th house, because I have a Taurus in the 12th house. So you gotta learn when to say no. So you help people get stronger, but then you gotta let them go. Because if they're just leeching onto your energy or stealing from you, basically, then that's bad karma for them because they're gonna pay for that. So they have to learn how to go on their own. And sometimes the best thing you can do in cases like that, once you get a person to stand up a little bit, cut them off if they're never giving nothing back. Because they're never going to learn how to do it themselves if they're always stealing your energy. And that's what if you study the 12th house, that's what they tell you. Because you can actually martyr yourself by caring too much about people who really don't give you jack dilly squat back at all. All right. Now give me a moment because I'm looking at a few things. So it says when a planet rises in the east, it can now be seen, and thus it enters the 12th house. Just so, our first instances of self-expression that we offer into the world are vulnerable and easily defeated, but the effect of their success or failure on our personality is enormous. Pulling some of our energy back into our self to keep it from being defeated or overwhelmed has two results. If we are aware of what we are doing, it becomes our hidden secret. If this process is unconscious, it becomes a rejected aspect of the self. These secrets or repressed aspects of the self form the classical interpretation of the 12th house. And I basically just explained that already. But what if the immature energy we put into the world isn't defeated early on? Then it can become a source of strength and a dominant aspect of our personality, and even signify our career. The 12th house is where we build inner strength to overcome limitations, sorrows, and fears, and where the individual adapts to the collective. It signifies self-undoing, where we stand in our own way, where we are not free to let ourselves become and be who we essentially already are. It also represents that which is hidden, karma, limitation, confinement, prison, betrayal, sacrifice, hospitals and institutions, nuns and priests, secrets and inner secret enemies, who may just be rejected aspects of ourselves. Initiation, ultimate understanding, and charity, given or received. The 12th house is ruled by Pisces. Pisces is ruled by Neptune. The 12th house is the last of the water houses. The water houses are the 4th house ruled by Cancer, 8th house ruled by Scorpio, and the 12th house ruled by Pisces. The 12th house shows what we have brought over from past lives to work on in this one. When the sun is in this domicile, we must learn to deal with limitations coming directly from the misuse of our own energy and will. Serve or suffer is the keynote here. We must learn to transcend our own destructive patterns. We can take our own negative attention off ourselves by selfishly helping those less fortunate than we are. You are naturally a giving person, sacrificing your own interests for the sake of inner vision. What you feel is right, a compassionate healer. You may find yourself counseling and caring for the needs of others. You tend to work behind the scenes rather than draw attention to yourself. There may be a sense of inferiority with this placement, inhibiting full self-expression until later years. Your inner world is frequently more important than your outer one. All right, we'll continue. All right, just give me a moment. I'm just looking at a few things. Alright, that's a little weird. I thought I saw two different things, but now it's the same. Let me just look around a little bit. Okay, so if you have the sun in the 12th house, that means you have a deep receptivity to the sensitive and watery world of collective dreams. So whatever's going on in the world, you're kind of tuned in. That's why when you see these artists come out and they just write songs or whatever, and everybody's just connected to them and all that, that's that kind of person. This person will also have a creative urge to be an individual, and is colored by the larger collective. So they will only find real fulfillment by journeying into the unseen and invisible dimensions of life. And don't get me, it's a lot of power there. Like I said, the archangels are my family. Ever since the archangels came, my life is nothing but great. Like today, I went outside, I saw a red bird. Now, all of a sudden, red birds never used to fly to me. Now that they're flying to me, I've never seen that. Jupiter has gone direct. Some other stuff was going on. It got itself taken care of for the most part. See, I've always been a spiritual person, and now I'm a metaphysical person. But I still believe in prayer. And I don't just always say spirit, I say God. And God does want to be known. That's the whole idea, of showing you a Messiah that walked around with the common people, was always with the common people. Because God wants you to know, like on a first name basis, like God really wants to be a friend. See, this is the stuff people need to learn instead of ducking all that and just going, oh, where's my love at? You know, they don't want to hear nothing about that. They don't want to hear nothing about personal responsibility. Nothing that's going to really make your life way better. You just want to stay at that little junior high school level. And if anybody talks to them like an adult, they get upset. Oh, I don't like his tone. But nothing's really wrong with the tone if the person's motivating you to realize there's a lot more to this life than just finding what you think is love and then F everybody else. Because what are you going to do when that goes sour? If you haven't learned how to deal with it, you're going to be miserable. Or you're going to start sleeping around. None of that stuff is cool with the universe. So it has to be some type of a character within yourself too. And see, the 12th house will help you deal with character and reckoning and karma. So the sun in the 12th house is going to be a very creative position. Remember, the sun rules Leo, and Leo rules the 5th house. So the sun rules any fire sign out there, really. So this person will be somewhat like a medium for the whole creative backdrop of life. And that's why I said when people, they might go into metaphysical music, or they might just make music and people are just drawn to them because they understand. So they say your solar mission is metaphysical longings and aspirations. So because the sun is in the 12th house and this is the domain of self-sacrifice, the path of development often entails healing and self-acceptance, which involves privacy, seclusion, and silence. So they keep saying that. And you know what, to be honest with you, I'm somewhat of an introvert, but not really. I mean, at some point in my life, I wanted to be an introvert, but I'm not really an introvert as much now. But God is only beginning to let me go out, you know. But usually it's like on a business level where I work at. My sun sign is Leo, my moon sign is Capricorn. So I'm able to go out now, but it's still usually around for business, like where you work at. But it's not as much like it's still not really socializing with people and stuff like that. So even though you have artistic and creative talents, it's necessary to have time out to reflect on these dreams, reflect on your dreams, feelings, and fantasies. This person will love dance, music, and art. My sister's 3 years younger than me. She's a Pisces, and she definitely loves like that, the dance, the culture. And she says there is a latent psychic and mediumistic ability which may need to be developed further. And that's what she says. She says she needs a mentor. So again, a mentor like me, it's always going to be the truth with me. I'm always going to tell you the truth. But don't get me wrong, because I know there are other worlds and there is magic and there's miracles that you can't explain. But I'm always speaking from, we're still in third dimensional. So you're here for a reason, so you still have to deal with third dimensional as well, but you don't let third dimensional overtake you. And I think most people let third dimensional overtake them. I mean, because people say, well, just do whatever works for you. And that's kind of true. I'm not arguing that that's not true, but you still got to find out, like, why you're really here. And you're only going to do that, like, with a natal chart and stuff like that. Like, yeah, because you see your true north node. Like, just watch how I do this chart. Because you just have people that they're just going to do it their way, you know. And when you're just going to do it your way, then you're not really letting spirit really in, because you're telling spirit, oh, this is what I'm going to do. And spirit might try to send somebody like me that's like, no, that's not what's on your chart. Because I get that sometimes. I try to tell people what's on the chart, they go against it, and then they regret it. But, sometimes you just want to do it. You just want to experiment. And that might be part of your life. Like, you might have your true north node might say you're going to be some type of teacher. You say, well, I don't want to be a teacher or whatever. I want to be a dancer. So you want to be a dancer, but even to some degree, you can even teach people through dance. So that's why I said sometimes you just, like, as a whatever, as a mentor or whatever you are, a teacher, sometimes you just got to fall back and let the person go their way. Now this person says the 12th house is the most inaccessible house on the astrological wheel, and it has associations with the collective unconscious, our ancient past, and the whole of psychic history that contains all of the content of previous generations. And that's what I was telling you. Many things in the past, especially in family legacy, have affected the psyche and holds them in a state of confusion and misunderstanding, although the type may not be fully conscious of these feelings residing inside. The 12th house rules places that are hidden and secluded, like institutions, monasteries, asylums, and prisons. In some faithful way, this seeps through into their self-expression, and frequently there is a sense of isolation and blocked powers of expression. The tendency here is to turn inward and reconnect to the imaginable realm, and to sense something greater is at work. The person tends to get involved in the helping professions or in activities where their efforts are hidden behind the scenes or unknown to the public. And like I said, I kind of do a lot of that. So they're saying this person may want to explore the dynamics of family karma to find out what gifts and talents lay unexpressed in their psychic history, and which also holds the key to their own sense of meaning and purpose in life. Now, because Pisces rules the 12th house and Neptune rules Pisces, there can be an illusion as well. The 12th house represents the dissolution of all boundaries, attempting to achieve a oneness with the whole of life. Ultimately, its energy disintegrates. Things fall into its deeper waters, and these oceans are difficult to navigate. But this person fortunately has enormous psychic sensitivity, but sometimes this is reacted to detrimentally, and he or she may try to numb this powerful feeling with alcohol or drugs. So you want to stay away from any form of addictions or addictive behaviors to deal with whatever you're going through. And they say, like, when a person says, I want to get high, well, the reason why they're trying to get high because they're trying to reconnect to the unseen world. So this person with the sun in the 12th house has often felt an emotional sense of obligation and depth in the past. And on a tarot card, the Pope, the Hierophant, is the Taurus energy. So sometimes when you see the Taurus in the 12th house, this could be a male or a female, like a spiritual mentor or leader. So they may have some unfinished business in the 12th house regarding a debt from the past or some type of karma. Because the sun is shining light through what is hidden. What is hidden and or underdeveloped. So this person is going to be a highly sensitive vessel and mediator for society and possesses an innate connection with the deeper and larger oceans of the collective unconscious and all that it contains. This person will have a deep understanding and compassion. They'll do charitable work, social work, and helping the underprivileged is a good vocational choice. This person is a beacon of light for people who feel neglected, unwanted, and unloved in society. A powerful sense of service to others leads him or her into the healing fields such as therapy, medicine, hypnosis, creative visualization, occult studies, music, or paintings, which are all areas that the individual may be powerfully drawn towards. Sometimes the individual feels overlooked, and this can create self-doubt and poor self-esteem. The planetary energy in this house, the 12th house, feels weakened. Well, the reason why I'm reading this, but just bear with me because I know they made it to first house, but it's still your 12th house. But that's because you got unfinished business. So what I'm reading is exactly how it should be read because you got to understand the 12th house. The first house won't be as, that's basically just your personality, especially with the sun there. And you got two fire. You got the sun, which is the ruler of the fire signs, and then Aries rules that house. So this person will be somewhat of a forward, more moving Taurus energy. And like I said, Taurus is more about earthy stuff, possessions, value system. Career possibly, but some type of money activity. The planetary energy in this house feels weakened, unacknowledged, and unseen. The person does not feel deserving of praise, attention, or acknowledgement. Asserting himself or herself for getting up in front of an audience may be exceedingly uncomfortable for them. And if you're creative, if you do have that problem, you could always do some type of poetry night. You could just rewrite off the paper until you get used to just looking at the audience. Like that's how you start off. Just come on stage, read off the paper. Just make sure you put life in your voice though. Don't just read off the paper with no life. But make sure you do that, and you'll win them over. And then you'll start going. Because I had met this person a long time ago, and they was real shy. But back then, that's all I did was freestyle, rap, freestyle. So I would just be freestyling and making them freestyle and stuff. And then And then we would start freestyling, battling, and she got real good at it. And she went from being shy to being on stage in groups and stuff, rhyming and doing poetry and stuff and freestyling and stuff. The sun in the 12th house feels invisible at times and may live out part of their lives in secret. Luckily for everyone concerned, they are a light for those in society who feel weak, shut out, rejected, lost, and confused. The work this person does behind the scenes may not be visible to everyone. Some of it goes unnoticed. But they need that feeling of purpose no matter what. So, because they feel unfulfilled, that would allow them to translate their inner world into an artistic, political, scientific, or humanitarian contribution. Now, only this person will know this or not, but they say this type of person. Because, like I said, remember, they're going, the sun is in the 12th house. But somebody will say, well, her sun is not in the 12th house, it's in the first because of the AC, ascendant, which is where the sun rolls over the horizon at her birth, and the EP, the epicliptic, or the east point, where the sun rolls over the ecliptic at her birth. So, really, her sun is in the first house. But I'll say, nah, if you see how it was done, it's still in the 12th house as well. Her 12th house, her it's like a 12th house, first house. So, depending on the person, it says the sun is hiding in the 12th house, so they won't feel like a party animal. You will most likely find yourself doing a great deal of soul searching, and that's what she said, because that's the first thing she said. She said the world will be better when the blacks are returned to Africa, and the blacks who represent the soul of darkness, the 8th house. Even myastrologybook.com said that Pluto, now planet Pluto rules Scorpio, which is the 8th house, but he said planet Pluto is the planet of the black people. So you're dealing with the soul, you're dealing with the 8th house, Scorpio with Pluto. And the 8th house and the 12th house have a unique connection. You will most likely find yourself doing a great deal of soul searching, as this is the house of doubts and worries. The 12th house of the chart is the germination period for the 12th house sun. The 12th house sun will make you more reclusive, your imagination is stimulated, and psychic tendencies stimulated. And then they just wrote down soul music. But I can click on the link, because that's the last thing it said. That's how it ended. It says soul music. It was funny how they just put that there, because that's what they're basically talking about. This person's going to be more connected to people of the soul, generally people of color. And then I could click on the link, and it took me right to soul music, music of the Spears at Amazon.com. But it's temporarily out of stock. And her name is Eleonora B. Jones. Now I'm going to see if she's the woman who wrote this article. They don't say who wrote it. It just says posted January 1st, 2010 by Astrology Place. But since that book is there, you can assume it may be Eleanor B. Jones. All right. Now we're not fully, even that was very expansive. We're going to... So now this one is saying, when the sun is in a person's 12th house, the light of the star will illuminate all that is hidden and may dissolve all possible fears. So the sun is going to help this person overcome their fears in the 12th house. All right, they're basically saying the same stuff the other one said, so I don't want to read all that all over again. But what we're really looking for is just bear with me because I'm looking for one thing. May or may not be able to find it. Because I know when you have a planet in your 12th house, that's usually a guardian angel. So I'm trying to find out what guardian angel corresponds with the sun. I'm looking at the 12th house. Ascendant. Mm-hmm. Just give me a moment. All right, I'm gonna do a few things, but I'm leaving this on because I just believe in the energy of spirit. So depending on what I'm doing, I try to leave it on. Says the guardian angel calculator will quickly help you discover which of the fairy godmothers is yours. Guardian angel is a guide and protector. Sometimes they will appear as a fairy godmother, spiritual symbol, and an angel who cares for us. All right, so what I'm going to do, but I can't guarantee this just yet. Because one thing you just said, that's why I said you had to be consistent and patient. You have to be consistent, and I'm going to tell you why. Because you'll go to different websites, and they may have different information about the same thing. It's confusing. It's not. Just stay patient. That's why I said the more you become one, you just stop worrying about like when people just want to argue or debate everything. That's how you know they're not doing what they're supposed to. In John chapter 3, Nicodemus represented people who want hardcore evidence and everything to work itself out, and you could have a hardcore copy print and all that. And Jesus was just the wind. See, the wind is the divine feminine. So that's why he said the wind does goes where it wants to. That's intuition. That's why you need both. You need the masculine, which is more technical, but you also need the feminine, which is more feelings and stuff. And you got to balance. And sometimes it's not always going to be balanced, but it has to be compromised. But it could get, like, you just have to be careful because it can't get excessive either. Everything can't just be feeling. There is a reason why you should think and use your brain, but you can't use it so much that everything's so rigid. And that's why I said when you really understand that, if you meet somebody, it could be, if y'all both understand that, y'all could have a pretty decent relationship because you both understand that. Sometimes it's going to be about you. Sometimes it's going to be about me. It's got to be a compromise. And a lot of people don't understand that. And that's why I tell anybody, if you really want real love, because everybody talking about love and light, but real love is not, oh, he's starting to piss me off, I'm going to start, oh, this guy flirts with me at work, so I'm going to flirt back. That's not real love. That's what I call lust. And because it's, you're telling the whole world, this is the person I'm going to be with the rest of my life, but then you're still flirting around and stuff. So that's not cool. But then again, some people both, they do it. Like, some people don't really care. So it really, at the end, it's going to depend on the two people. Because if they can put up with it, then it's not that big of a deal. But some people really get upset. Like, okay, if you're with me, why are you doing this and stuff? And I'm not cool with it. So that's the drama. So, but the more people grow in spirit, really, they can get through that kind of stuff. But if they're not really growing in spirit, they're just using astrology for, where's my career? What about that? How much money am I going to make? Some money? What do I have to do this week to make a lot of money? So that's using astrology for the wrong purpose. It's not that question is wrong, but that's what it's selfish. That's why it's wrong. Like me, I use it for everything. I'm always doing some type of reading or doing something. But I also understand animal messages. So I'll go outside and I'll get messages from birds and all kind of stuff, even insects. Like I was out in nature today, cutting the vines and stuff, and the bumblebee came right up to me, flew right up, and I told y'all I was driving my car, and that bumblebee came on my car, the window, and went and get off. It was they either call that a hornet or a bumblebee, but they all have messages for you. And if you'll notice, the bumblebee looks a lot like the tiger, the same colors. And I have a person that works in my job, and I know she's like from a soul family, even where she's from, almost where this person's from, the same area, going up the Atlantic. And that's when I started seeing all this stuff when I got that new job. And I knew that female was. And ever since she came around, the message is tiger. And I already studied the tiger, but I got to study the tiger again. Because like I said, yesterday was a real heated argument. But I knew I had to stand up for myself. Because what they were doing, I was going through a lot of things. Like when you're working with the universe, like Doreen Virtue used to tell you, if the universe has plans for you, everything you're presently doing might go downhill. And people will say, well, you're not dependable, or every time we talk to you, it's another. But that's because the universe is taking you to where the universe wants you to be. But the universe is more powerful than those people. So you don't have to feel guilty. You have to hold your ground. And if you hold your ground and trust the universe, those people will back up. Y'all don't know how many times I've done that. And like I said, I had a psycho cop one night. He thought he was going to throw me to the ground. He had his arms on me. He's going to throw me to the ground. But I was shocking him. Because as he grabbed me and was preparing to throw me to the ground, he thought I was going to get scared. I actually got madder. Like the moment he put his hands on me, I actually was like, who the hell do you think you're like I really I didn't get emotional. But he could tell I was beginning to get angry. He could feel the energy change. And that kind of, but I've been in situations like that. I used to work on the military base, and if they caught you, like I would have to work in the woods because we was putting communication equipment in the Hummers, the Humvees. And so we got captured by a military team in training, and when they captured you, so I could tell he was trying to see if he could intimidate me. And the more I wouldn't be intimidated, the less he tried. So you can't, this is stuff I learned from spirit. So you got to really do this. This can't be just a love story. It can't just be bubblegum astrology. You have to really want it because you're here for a reason. Oh, and I didn't even tell her. All this week I've been hearing people say to me, That's what I signed up for. I think she said that. I think she said she was the third person in 3 days that said that. This is what, what we signed up for. So I told the second person, the sign is a sign of the Messiah's coming. And that's the resurrection of these people you call melanated people, like she said. And then 4 is the number of the angels in the Bible. And whether it's a preposition 4 or whether it's the number 4, it's still angels. These angels going back to where they really come from. Whether you want to call it Africa, the presence of God, whatever you want to call it. Signed up for, and up is the ascension. So you got to remember that. And with all these blood moons and new moons and all this stuff, that's where we're headed. So this is why you have to take this seriously. And I'm telling you, if you're doing what you're supposed to, you don't have to worry about all that other stuff because it'll work itself out. You have to do some things to make it happen, but that shouldn't be your primary focus. Your primary focus should be you walking with spirit and growing with spirit. Right now, it's getting ready to go somewhere. Oh, yeah. So give me a moment. Because I just want to try to find if we can find a person's guardian angel on the sun. Because I know Jupiter in the 12th house, well, any planet in the 12th house is your guardian angel, but it's hard finding out their names, though. Now, this thing says hemisphere you live in, but you shouldn't say that. It's not hemisphere you live in. It's hemisphere you were born in, since they're asking you your birth information. So they should correct that because that can confuse people. But I do this all the time, so I know what they're really asking. What hemisphere were you born in? All right, so now let me pull up her natal chart, because the natal chart you see, that information has been removed because this is all confidentiality. So now I go to her original chart, and that information should be right there. So just give me a moment. I may have to put this on pause, but I may not, because I may get the answer quick. Northern hemisphere is the half of the Earth that is north of the equator. For other planets in the solar system, north is defined as being. Saying, all right. Okay, I got it. See, I love a computer. You can't go wrong. It's like the greatest cheat sheet in the world. It's like, wow, you're so intelligent. No, I just know how to use a search engine. I'm probably more stupid than the average person and stuff. But I know how to use that search engine. All right, so give me a moment. We're going to do this again. I mean, some of that stuff you probably know, like if I had a map, but I don't have a map in front of me, so, and I don't like to just, even if I'm pretty sure, sometimes I double check. Come on. All right, so there you go, South America. And that's what I was saying. So now the female, but I got a lot of connections. See, I know I got soul connections to the Dominican Republic. I've been told that over and over again. And this female at my job, I'm pretty sure she's from the Dominican Republic. And ever since I've seen her, I could feel the energy. She could feel it too. And one day they made sure the universe kept putting me and her next to each other, and she knew. So that way when I started talking to her, she was ready to talk because she already knew. And they keep showing me the tiger. Like when it comes to her, because after I came out that office later on that day, I was walking around, and I saw that tiger. Like, because I work in a store, like a store. And all the stuff, I walked past and saw that tiger. I said, oh shoot, they keep showing me that tiger. And that tiger's colors is the same colors as the hornet or the bumblebee. And then for the yellow jacket, I keep saying, I shouldn't say bumblebee, I should say yellow jacket. The yellow jacket and the hornet have the same type of, and so does the tiger, that yellowish brown. So, and the southern hemisphere is also, let me see it, the southern third of Africa. All right, let me do it. Give me a second. All right. So now we had that information. Now we can put it in. Give me a second. So now they took me to a new website called mysticscripts.com. What I should have did. And Raphael. So they're saying Raphael is your guardian angel, but we still got to double check, only because, like I said, they'll say that and then you'll see somebody else will say something. But Raphael was with the Moor. Well, let me explain what Moors really is, because there's a lot of lying, deception in history. But what happened was the Moors were people that were kind of known for the waters, because Moors can kind of mean navigation or naval stuff like that. Because even the Navy and the Marines, they are connected to the Moors, just so you know that. And so because those people were melanated, what the non-melanated people did, anybody that was melanated, they said, oh, those are Moors, but they're not. It's just different people. But Raphael was the Archangel of the Moors, because he helped them in travel. But Raphael will also heal you. So this is how you'll know it's Raphael. If you see green around you, that's Raphael. And he'll streak past you like unbelievable speed. Because Doreen Virtue said it would happen, and it did. Because I remember when Raphael he came past me, and I looked up, and you could see that green just over there. So if you need healing and whatever, Raphael will do it and stuff like that. So that's why I'm telling this person, deal with people who know what they're talking about, and you can learn a lot. You can learn a lot. Don't turn this into bubblegum astrology, because those people, it's gonna come a time when they're gonna wish they had listened, because all I've done is help people. I've kept my prices really affordable. This person I really did help out. You know, I'm trying to help, but people out here they're kind of nuts. So like you just want it your way, and if you can't have your way, you'll run. To me, that's what a coward does. A coward's gonna run really quick, and that's why God is starting to tell me, you know, shut it all down. I don't even know how much longer this channel is gonna be here, because I'm starting over there, and we'll see where we go from. But I'm trying to help people. That's why I try to stay as public as possible, but not if I'm going to constantly be taken advantage of, because that's just not fair to me, because all I do is help people. So God doesn't like it. The archangels don't like it. And these people, they're going to continue, but they're going to have a rude awakening. You best believe. And we're trying to warn these people. All these changes, a lot of these people don't even know about these earthquakes. They don't know. Like I said, listen to Paul Bagley, because he's telling you. Nania just did a wonderful video. Now people that go up in the sky 20,000 feet high or higher, 30,000 feet, they're getting hit with radiation. Why? Because the Bible tells you that it's going to come a time when that sun is going to like to destroy everything. And you see that in the book of Revelation, but you also see it in Malachi chapter 4. So, you know, it's time for people to wake up. God's not joking. Like, spirit is not joking. This earth is changing. See, I don't worry about nothing about no earth changes because I'm one with the universe. I really believe that. Like, from planets, everything. Because Mars will just keep talking. Like, Mars is letting you know things is heating up because Mars is bright. And on July 27th, that blood moon, Mars will be as closest to the Earth as it's ever been. Remember, Mars is retrograde in Aquarius, and that's all about enlightenment. But Mars retrograde is also about like anger just coming at you like out of nowhere. So you got to really understand the universe. So this person may have connections to like ancient sea sailors, but they were, someone will call Moors and all that. And even like Ethiopia, because a lot of people don't know how powerful Ethiopia is. All up that Atlantic, like the Caribbeans, that's a lot of those are Ethiopians. Like the Jamaicans are connected to Ethiopians, the East Africans, but those were the real priesthood. See, the Bible tells you stuff, but it flipped it on you. So it's telling you kind of like the truth, but they made a fake, those people of God are not the people of God. Just like Revelation 2:9 says and Revelation 3:9 says. And now we're at the end of the 400-year prophecy from Genesis 15. And God is about to really wake his real people back up because they've been sleeping. That's what John chapter 11 is about. That's why if you notice, John chapter 11 has Ephraim. Ephraim is another code word for Ethiopia. And even Peter, up above, when Jesus calls Peter the rock and all that, up above in the skies is Cephas, because Peter in the Bible is also called Cephas, but Cephas is the star of Ethiopia. So you have to notice that. Like when I first came out, I never, ever identified with West Africa. I mean, it might be true, but I always thought that was a bunch of garbage. But I always identified with East Africa, and I used to have a channel with Ethiopia in there, and that's the priesthood. And I'm ordained on different levels of spirituality, real ordinations and stuff. Plus just being called by spirit. So you got to know who you are, and it's inside. So that's why I said I'm so glad this person didn't let third dimensional say, well, why is he being so nice to me? Because I had intuitively, I already knew it was perfect timing. Perfect timing. And then she said it's no accidents or coincidences. So I try to wake people up, but some people, I hate third dimension. Why the hell would you want to stay here? But it's people that they don't want to hear all that crap. Like I could see it. Like I've done charts where people are connected to the Hopi deserts and all that. Like I'm into shit like that. Like, yeah, really? I'm connected to all that power that's in the Hopi deserts, really? Oh, I'm a female priestess? Because a lot, you don't even know about female priestess too much. I've done people who are connected to female priestess and they could care less. All they want to talk about is some guy. No way in the world if I was a female will I give a freak about some guy. Like, yeah, if that happens, great. But I want to be connected to my power. I want to be connected to where I come from. I want to be the source that helps destroy this matrix that we're in. See, I'm into stuff like that. No, I don't want to be in a prison. You're not going to lie to me. That's why I said when that person was trying to talk that crap to me, I shut that dude down quick. I listen, I let him know. And I kept saying to him, I'm a spiritual person. He's probably like, no, you're a nut job. You're a nut. You don't know how close you are to being terminated. I'm like, terminated for what? I didn't do anything. You're going to terminate me because of these reasons? When I got documented proof? You're going to have a lawsuit on your hands, bucko. You know, this doesn't necessarily say bucko, but I let him know, oh no, don't think you're just going to throw me up out of here. You're going to have a lawsuit on you. I said, man, me going to court and winning, that's easy. That's easy work. You have nothing. You're just frustrated. You don't think I'm not frustrated? Stop trying to make me out to be... Like God told me, stop letting these people define who you are. You define who you are. That's why I tell people, I'm an ordained minister. I'm a spiritual, bro. Don't let these people... That whole racism is out of here. It's out of here. It's only powerful if you keep professing that garbage. Profess what the universe is telling you. Take your power back. Like Raziel, who is a Leo, like I am. Raziel tells you, quick, take back your power. So the archangels are my best friends. I love doing like readings. As soon as I can get to, I want to take a reading with Gabriel, because that's like my uncle. Archangel Gabriel's like my uncle. So I got to do another reading with just his card deck because he always gives me great. He's been my agent. He's been my lawyer. Gabriel's all that. And I knew that before I ever picked up an Archangel. I always knew I was connected to Gabriel. And then when I met Doreen Virtue through the websites and stuff, it was like, wow, this is everything I've been talking about. And then what happened was I finally got back to my music because Gabriel is always telling me to get back to my music and I wouldn't do it for a lot of different reasons. And then I finally got back to it. And as soon as I got back to it, somebody stole my name I had just created. And now they have a channel out here on YouTube with my name. So now I'm in litigations to get that person taken down. But the archangels came to help me immediately. Jophiel came and Raziel came because I didn't even know Jophiel deals with creators, like people who create music and create art and stuff. I didn't know that. I just found that out. Like, why is Jophiel and this other angel Raziel showing up? Then I did my research because Jophiel was like, "Oh, we're not gonna let that guy get away with it. Don't even get upset." And then all the archangels started showing up, and I document all this. See, that's the kind of stuff I'm into. But a lot of people, if you're not talking about them, they could care less because it's just selfish. But they should be looking at this like, wow, this is really powerful. Like, don't look at me. That's why I never come on camera. Because that's the first thing you want to do. You want to follow a human. You have the exact same power I do. Just tap back into the angels. Stop that silly bubblegum astrology. All these blood moons, they're coming for you. All these selfish people, you're about to see some realization. You better look at what's going on around the world. Why aren't those people's belief systems helping them? Why? I don't worry about stuff. I could care less. Like when Sandy came to New Jersey, I was not worried. God had already prepared me. I had already been somewhere. I didn't even know. I just bought a whole lot of batteries. And then all of a sudden, I needed all those batteries for flashlights and stuff. The food didn't go bad. I had people saying to me, well, how's your food? I said, food's fine. How is that food still good after those many days with no electricity? Put my trust in God. So when you really are in spirit, when you're really what you're supposed to be, you don't have to worry about none of this crap. As far as love, believe me, it's already there. You got to have love within yourself. If you're looking for somebody else to make you happy, you might be waiting a long time because people are not perfect. All right, so now the guardian angel for the birth date that I put in your name. And I know it says you live in, but it's not where you live in. It's where you're born. I know. So if they say you live in, what they really mean is where you were born. That's how you determine your guardian angel, because they're with you at birth. Like the high priestess was with me at birth. That was my tarot card angel, and she's always with me till this day. And that's why I have a great relationship with the moon, and that's why I relate to like the wolves and stuff like that. Even somebody called here today, and I was cracking up. Their name was, I forget the name, but there's a person back in the day when I was a little kid, Coyote, something Coyote, and that's what that person's name was. Like the first two things was that person. I looked at that Willie something. I don't know, but when I was a kid, I knew that name was for a coyote, and that's in the wolf family too. The angel of humility. Name of angel, Saint Ignacio. So I'm gonna let you read all this. But it says by day of birth it would be Raphael, yeah. By month of birth is Ignacio. By your sun sign, which is Taurus, it's Michael. But they're showing you a Michael as a little baby, which is kind of funny. And a crescent moon that looks like a banana. I don't know what that's all about. Maybe you do. All right. So I'm gonna send this over to you now. Give me a second. All right, everything's running slow. Give me a second. Now somebody might ask what's a fair question. They might say, well, listen, you know, I'm like melanated, or I'm African, so why are we looking at these like light skinned angels, the white angels? Now Bobby Hemmett was one of the greatest master teachers of all times, and even Bobby Hemmett gave Doreen Virtue her credit. So right now we just use what we have, but it's still spirit, you know. And you'll have whatever you need at the right time. And what I try to tell people, the one mistake you don't make though is don't just go diving into stuff if you're new. That's why I say get your natal chart first, get comfortable with that, start doing Archangel cards. You get your own cards and stuff. That's why I said I'm trying to help. I'm not trying to rip you off. Believe me, if I was trying to rip you off, I was paid. I want you people to know my bills was paid a month and a half in advance. I was chilling. I mean, my family was finally looking at me with a little bit of respect, like finally you did something, you know? And I could have just sat back and just collected. But I wanted to tell the truth. And nobody wanted the truth. They just wanted me to talk about love and whatever. Love is going to come and love is going to go. It's not, you're not here for love. Find out why you're here. Get your purpose. That's the real love. I love life. I love helping people. I love what I do. That's why, like I said, where I'm at now, they're looking at me, well, he's a great customer service guy. We just can't figure out what's wrong with him. And I'm saying because you're looking at me the wrong way. I'm going through something for a certain reason. And instead of you listening to what I'm trying to tell you, you're trying to tell me I'm a liar. And now I'm getting mad because I'm not going to let you tell me I'm a liar because I'm not a liar. Stop using racism to define me. You're not going to win using that. I'm going to take your ass to court and I'm going to win. I'm not. That's the only reason why I'm going to court if you lie on me. Because I'm not going to let you get away with it. Well, I'll get through this. And I'm still like working. I'm still doing great business. Like, let me get through whatever the universe is taking me through. That's all I can tell you. And everything will be fine. But don't try to bully me because I'm not going to let you bully me. But that's all this is being taught by spirit. That's why I said when you meet somebody and you learn how to speak up for yourself, they'll respect you more. But if you stay third dimensional, it's going to be a typical we meet each other, we have a lot of sex, then something's going to go wrong. We're going to start cheating. Somebody's going to start cheating, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, because you didn't let the universe teach you. Your mother would have taught you how to speak to that person. See, if it's really twin flame or whatever, you're supposed to help that person grow. And they're going to help you grow. But you got to get out of that ego, that third dimensional ego, that third dimensional fear. You got to get out of that. But you're not going to get out of that running. You got to let spirit in, like I did. And that's why even though I lost all that money, I was like, who cares? Like, it hurt. Don't think. It definitely hurt. But I got to the point, like, I had to soul search. And I said, listen, I'm glad I didn't lie to those people. Even if they don't understand it, I'm glad I didn't lie to them because that's on my conscience. See, I'm trying to get out of third dimension. I don't never want to come back to this planet once I'm going. Not like this. It's time to get somewhere higher. So I'm not going to get caught up in the silly stuff. I got to go higher now. I've been here long enough. And God is about to change third dimensional anyway. That's what all these blood moons and all this fire on earth and hell on earth and all that stuff is going on. God's about to make that 400-year prophecy is up. Read it. It's Genesis 15. If nobody knows what I'm talking about, read Genesis chapter 15. That 400-year prophecy is just about up. And this is where we're going, whether you like it or not. So if you walk with spirit, and then you don't have nothing to worry about. All right, give me another moment. All right, we got this. And then I'm going to do this. Now, one time I was listening to a healing session by Doreen Virtue, and she called Michael, Raphael, and Jophiel. So they all are healers. So this person right here, she has Raphael and Michael. So that's healing, and they already told you that you're a healer. So that's one way of looking at that. And then let's see if there's anything else though. It says find your birth angel, and how do you do that? All right, let's do it again. And you could do this at tarot.com too, but I can encourage you to sign up because I've been spending a lot of time with you. So that you could do yourself. Just go to tarot.com, and if you sign up, you can get all that information. What's your tarot card? Like mine is a high priestess, but you can get all that info from tarot.com, and it's all free. Just sign up, and then you can get like if you want to sign up to good To get it weekly, sign up to horoscope.com and astrologyanswers.com. They do good. And you could also do tarot.com, which will give you a daily horoscope, but it'll give you 5 different tabs that you could look at. But I will really, well, just do the ones that work for you. And I can't tell you because that's just what works for me. Yours might be different. So give me a moment. I'm trying to get this other information. And I'm also keeping my mind on the time of this video. Now, whenever I do a video, each person is different. Like I did one yesterday, but that person, she was fair. Her natal chart was very straightforward, but you could see that. So I'm very thorough. So don't go by time. Don't say, well, why did you spend 4 hours on that one and only an hour and a half? Because that's what they're required. But I make sure I go over everything, and it's as thorough as I could possibly be. And some people, it's also in the numerology. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes it's in asteroids. Sometimes it's not. Sometimes the entire chart has messages. Because some people have lived more than one life. So if you live like 8, I mean, who knows? It might be infinite. How would I know? I can only go by the chart. All right. Oh, come on. Do you have to complicate it? All right, give me a minute because they want me to do it exactly the way they wrote it. So give me a second. But that's sweet. They helped me though. As soon as I wrote in the year, they took me right to the calendar, so I didn't have to do it. That's pretty cool. Let me see. Yep. That's pretty cool. Now they want you to put your time in. Come on. Find your angel. What am I doing? All right, give me this for a second. And see, all the reading does like this is put a person on the right course, and as they continue to travel, because you might find some cards that like are African and stuff. You know, it depends. But you just got to start somewhere. See, now they say you're physical. Guess what? Your physical first guardian angel, his name is Allah. Aladea. See, like I said, each one's gonna do different, and you got to figure that out. I can't really help you with that. But you could do it like with a card reading. You might ask or something like that. Some of the stuff you have to figure out on your own. Emotion, that's the physical one. Now the emotional second angel is Vihilua. And intellectual third guardian angel is Nelkea. Now I never heard these before, but you can click on them to see what they look like. So you could do that more of that. And they're showing you numbers like 10, 49, 21. And they give you a whole lot to read too. Alright, so I'm going to send this your way. So did she see, because I could feel the love, but I could see as soon as she contacted. But I just wanted to because you don't know how many people contact me, but they stay third dimensional. And like, see, I've been in churches where they get divine healing. And one thing, like a pastor is not going to do, if you don't have no faith, he's going to stop talking to you. So if you come into church because you're curious, but then you go up and he wants to heal you, but you're all nervous and you won't get this pastor, because he's not nervous. He know God can heal you, you know. But you're nervous, and he won't. So he stops dealing with you because you're disrespecting God with that lack of faith. So that's why I said when I say stuff, if I was wanted to rip you off, I would just make my prices high and just wait for people to pay it. That's what everybody else is doing. I go low, like I'm from the hood. You understand? I know it's hard, but don't play me out, because then like you're playing me out and I'm trying to help you. So you just screw yourself. I'm not the bad guy. So now let me see this. So you can find out the top 10 qualities of these angels. It didn't show a picture, so she could do that as well. All right. Well, now somebody said you could see it in your palm. Guardian angel line, lifeline. This is for palm reading. sun-gazing.com. And you can see this on YouTube. It's called Guardian Angel Lines. Palm reading, palmistry. So she has a ministry, but she calls it palmistry number 49. Guardian Angel Lines, palm reading, palmistry 49. So that's somewhere else you could go. Now what is this? Body, soul, mind, spirit, net. But what are they trying to show me? Angels of the Zodiac. See, now she says Aries is Archangel Camiel, but see, for Doreen Virtue, Aries is Archangel Ariel. She kept Gabriel for Cancer though, because he is. But I don't know why she changed everybody else. So this is bodysoulmind.net. So that's why I said, but they're all, this is how I feel. They are trying to help you, so it doesn't really matter. And if you really want to know, just keep asking, and they'll eventually answer your question. They may answer it faster than you think. But like I said, for me, it's been nothing but great with the archangels. That's all I can say. I've heard people say they had some bad experiences. So if you're scared of having a bad experience, like I said, deal with somebody who's having a great experience. You don't have to do everything by yourself. Bottom line. You can't, like I said, at the end of the day, you can't go wrong. People think, oh no, I'm losing money, or they're trying to nickel and dime me and just silly stuff. I can help you, but you got to put some type of faith. That's just a fact. That, like some of the stuff you hear on TV, like I'm going to tell you all the truth. Y'all not going to want to hear it. Now, this is the truth. I have not ripped nobody off. I stay low level. I lose money helping people. And then some of the people just take me, like really disrespect me. Like you try to help people and they think you a sucker. But I still have not let that move me. And I've had people tell me you need to raise, and I've never done that. Now, the reason why spiritual channel went down, because all those people was sapping my energy. I can barely get out of my own freaking bed because all they're doing is taking. And those are the ones I'm talking about never gave back. And I gave them warning after warning after warning. And God kept telling me to leave them people alone. To be honest with you, God told me a long time, stop messing with those people. They're not going to do the right thing. But I wasn't. I got a motherly side. My true north node is Cancer. So I have a motherly side that's like, oh, I got to help these people because I know what's going to happen. You know, anybody with any sense, even non-any, will tell you what's about to happen. But I'm trying to. And God finally said, no. And plus, I could tell I was draining myself, having no energy because you're trying to help. You're giving energy to, like I said, don't throw your pearl before swines. And then I finally shut it down, and then everything just went better. So that's why I said it's better. You just gotta come to some conclusions, but just don't come to your conclusions with a third dimensional mentality because you're gonna play yourself out. All right. So now okay. So that is her first house. But she's going to have communication problems because of Mercury retrograde. But we did explain your first house, which is also kind of a 12th house as well. Second house is Gemini. Oh, yeah, and just because they said you like social. So Palace, that little diamond shape in your 12th first house, I'm just calling it that. That helps you see patterns. But if it was retrograde, it would help you with social issues. But whenever I see palace, I say social issues anyway. Your first, your now we're gonna start calling it just first. We're not gonna go like first, second house and all that. This now is your first house. But I had to explain to you why your 12th house is also your first house. It's dealing with endings and the first house as well. Stuff in the past life you gotta deal with in this life as well. But now your first house is Gemini, and your first house kind of well, now it becomes your second house. Is Gemini, because your first house is ACEP, which is Taurus. Your second house is Gemini. What that means is you're going to deal with like younger education, creativity, mental communications, the brotherhood, other people, siblings, creative house as well. But so your money, possessions, and value system is going to be connected with Gemini energy, and that could also be short distance travel. Going to your third house. See, now your family's in the third house, so that could have to do with your brothers and sisters, siblings, younger people, teenage to adult education, land and property, ancestors and family, the heart, because this is all Cancer energy, your travel, means of transportation. But also Cancer is ruled by the moon. So the moon in Cancer is your fourth house, but that's Imum Coeli. And that's the whoever raised you from a mother capacity when you were younger. Now, you got money here. Everything I just said, when you stick to those things, you're going to have Jupiter money there. You also have healing there, making you a healer. And also, you're also a nurturer. And see, now you have 12 degrees. So now you have to look up 12 degrees Cancer. .12 degrees Cancer. Give me a second. .12 degrees Cancer. Introverted, melancholic, and irascible character. If intelligence and willpower can overcome instincts of violence, oppression, and cruelty, then one can expect fame, honors, and wealth. If in the natal chart the midheaven and well-aspected planets are in conjunction with this degree, it promises a top-level government office. If it is in conjunction with the ascendant in Mars, it portends a danger of violent death. All right. At the end of the day, nothing's in conjunction with that. So we don't have to worry about that. Give me that. All right. All right. So your money house is your third house, and you just have to remember, because of the way things is, it's kind of like your second house as well. See, it's kind of depending on you and your twin as well, because see that's why your chart is like that. It's like his life, your life, and it's also dealing with past lives. Okay, fourth house. I already explained what the fourth house is because of Cancer. Now it's Leo. So Leo is all about that fun, childlike ways, travel, taking chances, taking risks, childbearing. Another creative, very, like I said, this is a very creative house. The third house ruled by Gemini, the fifth house ruled by Leo, very creative. Both of them are very creative, Gemini and Leo. But this is all going on in her fourth house. Well, again, third house, fourth house, because it's just the way things are. But fourth house for now. So very creative. Now the fifth house has Mars. Well, the fifth house has Virgo. Virgo is the home, healing, service. Again, young people. So this person may be really good with young people. Young people, small animals, daily activities, daily duties, service. So she may be real creative when it comes to servicing things in health and things of that nature. Uh, Sixth house again is Libra energy. So Libra can be social too. So this is really like a service-minded person. And I think we learned that from her 12th house too. But Libra can be relationships, partnerships, and again, social issues. But this is all about service and healing. Now, see that 7th house is where all that activity is. So we don't want to deal with that yet. So we're going to deal with the other less houses with less activities, and then we'll leave those other houses with activity to conclude this video. And I'll be back. All right. When I went and took that little breather I just took, like, spirit let me know. Like when you see like a yellow jacket bee, or a hornet, whatever you call it, a wasp, whatever you call it, but it has that yellow, but also has that black. But that's also not just the tiger, that's also the leopard. See, because the leopard is from Ethiopia as well, well, Eastern Africa, whatever you want to call it. Then it doesn't necessarily have to be East Africa though. But you see the leopard in a lot of those Egyptian hieroglyphics. So they were telling me that too. All right, so we're gonna go back in and then we're gonna try to finish up. One moment. All right. So now I'm at 8 and 12 houses.com, and she said about Sun in the 12th house, she says too, I have always felt the urge to withdraw from the world and spend time alone. So she keeps saying that's a person. Sun in the 12th house is somebody who enjoys alone time. All right, let me just do this because this is good information. Give me one moment, I'll be right with you. Okay, so but she did bring something out though. So let's look at this. She said this person likes to escape from the world and seclude yourself from the realities of life. But you do, that's good when you use escapism for a good reason, like studying or learning, things like that. But never use escapism to get, self-destruction or, just depression, self-pity, woe is me, or anger, frustration, anxiety, or like I said, getting high. Just like escapism. So that's not good. All right, let's see what else it says. So you attract people to you who have problems. You're always trying to help. Now the dangers in that is that Taurus, because Taurus can be very sensual. So that can kind of be a person going from one situation to another. Might even be very, very flirtatious. Not that flirtation is necessarily wrong. Each person has to know. It's a female that works in my job, and that's what I thought when I first seen her, because she was like so friendly, and she really had no fear or whatever. And I kind of equated. I just, because I don't see much people like that, but I don't always get out a lot anyway. So when I seen her, it was easy to equate that, say, well, she's kind of like a flirt, you know. But then when I got to work with her, I see she's like that with everybody. Like she talks to everybody. She just has no like some people have a fear of talking in front of people and stuff. She doesn't have that at all. So this person with the sun in the 12th house is blessed with psychic abilities and has emphatic sensitivity. So they're an empath. So you feel other people's pain and try to help other people feel better. But you attract the downtrodden, and the outcast of society. But again, but the 12th house is also you have to be careful that you don't burn yourself out helping everybody else. The best thing you do for anybody is to teach them to stand on their own 2 feet. You help them a little bit, but you have to teach them to stand on their own 2 feet. It says you seem to struggle in groups because you feel different from others. But they say you prefer small groups or one-on-one interaction. They're telling you to be very careful because you're going to be very susceptible to addiction. She said don't use any type of substances that alter the mind or body. And it's hard when you see something like I've seen some of the most beautifulest females in the world, like unbelievably beautiful. It just looked like an angel just touched them and just blessed everything about them. And then that all it takes is just a wrong place, hanging out with people or at a wrong place one time, and all it takes is like that sniffing that one line of cocaine or whatever it is, whatever the drug of choice, alcohol of choice is, and that's it. And you see that person again, they look tore up, their body's all messed up, and it's horrible when you see a female and she's only like 19 or 20, and her body's just all messed up, and it's like wow, you could tell that at one point like she was like flawless. So that's why, like, I'm like anti. I'm anti all that, and I try to tell everybody, see, you have spirits to play minds on your games. I mean, they play games on your mind, you know, because they cause the problems, like in your family, they cause the problems in your life, and then they come inside your head and act like, and then they play you out. So I try to teach people, but like I said, it can get frustrating because you try to wake them up, and but they're just as guilty as the spirits because they try to seep all your, they try to take all your energy too, you know. So it gets to the point where you got to get to your own point where you can stand on your own 2 feet. But you got all this help. You keep hearing me say spirit. You hear me say archangels. You have tons and tons of help to help you. And the more you realize that, that's why I keep saying you won't have a whole lot of problems in relationships and stuff like that. Because a person's got to know, as much as I would like to work this out with you, I don't need you. Like my life don't revolve around you. And that's the kind of attitude I had in that meeting. And I know they were shocked that I was so bold. But the truth of the matter was I hadn't done anything wrong. They were just trying to find things so that they could get rid of me. But there's nothing they really had. But if I hadn't went in there all scared and stuff or kissing ass, they would have fired me. But when I let them know you ain't gonna fire me because you'll have a lawsuit on your ass, you're gonna have a lawsuit on your ass. And then they had to kind of back down. So you gotta know where your power is. Your power will always be spirit. And the more you realize your power is spirit, you're gonna realize your power is you. And that's how your life gets better. When you realize that. Otherwise, you're going to be just like everybody else looking around for answers, thinking other people got answers for you and they don't. Thinking drugs is an answer. It's not. Alcohol's not an answer. Even like just telling the whole world, because some people, like a lot of females are external. Look at me, look at me, look at me. It's about me. Oh, no, no, no. But that's not the answer either. Because then, like I said, you attract a lot to you. Like I try to teach females one thing. A lot. Not saying this is always the case, but the one guy that seems to have great conversation and stuff with you, and you say, "Well, see, I like him because he approaches me and he talks, and he's not intimidated." But I had this other guy that approached me, and it seemed like he was kind of nervous. That really turns me off because if you can't talk to me, then I don't want to talk to you. But what she don't realize is the guy that's really good at talking, he might be a player. So just like he's good at talking with you, he's good at talking. He's just good at it. So what you're misconstruing as, well, he's a real man and he's sincere, but you don't realize the guy that's humble, that's kind of nervous, that's because he really likes you. His feelings are real. His feelings are so real he could barely talk to you and shit. See, that's the person I would talk to because he really gives a fuck. The other guy, you don't know, he could be a player. Like I would just say slow down and get to know the guy first before you think he's the right one for you, because he's probably not, but he could be. I'm not saying that he's not, but he probably isn't. It's probably the little nerd. And sometimes, and even the guy that really wants to have a family and wants a serious relationship, he said, "Oh no, he's too serious, too quick," or "No, I'm not ready for that." Or maybe you got your own insecurity that you don't feel like you're worthy of it, or you feel like, well, I don't want to get hurt, so you rather play with this guy even though you know he's a player, but deep inside you say, "Well, I'd rather play with him because it's not always going to last. Like I can get on with my life, but if I play with this guy, it's going to get too serious, too quick, and I don't know if I'm really ready for all that." So that's why I say people have to grow up and come to some better conclusions, and that's why I try to do what I do. Hopefully, wake somebody up. You may have, now this is still Sun in the 12th house. You may have father figure issues Your father probably was not a strong presence in your life, and may have died when you were younger. If he was in your life, you always felt that he was emotionally unavailable to you. You tried hard to overcome your pain and seek to find a father figure in those you meet. She says the same thing. I say you must put God first in your life and seek a greater spiritual connection to the universe to overcome your deep loneliness and sense of aloneness. You are truly blessed with extraordinary psychic abilities and can use them to help others. And to say if that's your calling, because this is what people don't understand. You could set up shop today and be surprised. Like I always refer people back to Pink Tarot. I remember when she first came out, and she had no idea what was about to happen. But she came out, and all of a sudden, when she found out, because she definitely has gifts. When she found out, I mean, she like changed overnight. She calls herself Pink Pineapple Tarot. Yup, she's changed. She's just changing everything. And every time you come back, she's changing more and more. She said Leo, because she's a Leo too, I think. She said, let me see what she give me this. Because every time you come back, she's changing everything. But she just got back like a day. It said 2 days. 6 days. All right. So yeah, but what I'm trying to tell you is like once she found out what she was sitting on, she changed everything quick. So that's why I say people be complaining, oh, I don't have this, I don't have that. Well, sometimes you have a gift, you just ain't using it. Cause I was there. Like when I first caught Pink Tarot, I remember when she just didn't know. She didn't know what gift she had. I was just sitting there listening. Oh, this girl is good. You know, she is one of my favorite. And she was just sitting in the room talking, and it was all dark and shit. But when she got hit with that freaking gold mine, everything just changed. That girl ain't never been the same. I remember when you used to return my emails, Pink. What happened? Nah, she got big. She blew up. So that's why I'd be trying to say, instead of being depressed and stuff, do something with your life, especially because the universe gave you talent. So don't be a statistic. Like if I'm gonna be a statistic, I'm gonna be a top level, like in the top 5 or some shit. I'm not going out on no woe is me bullshit. That's why when my boss tried to imply that I was trying to do something, lie or some shit, I definitely let that motherfucker know. I said, listen, I said I'm a grown ass. I said, I ain't cursed, but I was like, I'm a grown man. I said, I forget exactly what I said. I said, whatever you talk. I said, beyond this stuff you talking. That's exactly. Now I definitely said that. I said, and I started waving my hand back and forth like, don't you ever imply that I would do something that's not like I'm a grown adult male. I don't have no time for no games. Ain't nobody playing no games and this and that. So get that straight. Stop thinking somebody's lying and stop thinking, I'm selling you some BS. This is what happened. I'm sorry if it's hard to believe, but that's what it is. So you got to have confidence in yourself. You got to have confidence in God and spirit, and you got to get on with your life because you're here for a reason. So don't sit there going, woe is me, woe is me. Oh, I'm gonna sit up in this room by myself and smoke some weed or something. Get on with your life. All right, so that's really most of it for the 12th house. Now, when you look at your 8th house, that's the house of the unknown. That's Sagittarius, that spear, that arrow like the spear. But your 8th house is that house of unknown. Now, you're going to get a free report. And in that free report, it's going to tell you all about the 8th house. But this is all about sex, the soul, but depth. Like when you owe depth. taxes, death, resurrection, transformation. The 8th house is ruled by Scorpio. Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. This is alchemy, higher sciences, animalistic behavior, transformation. Sagittarius deals with your 9th house, but Sagittarius deals with anything that's foreign. In the 9th house, it could be higher courts, higher laws, your in-laws, culture, art, anything that has class, religion, philosophy. The 9th house ruled by Scorpio is your higher self. Depending on where Scorpio is on your chart, it could be foreign speaking people. It could also be anything like the internet, because the internet is a world wide web. Anything that has to do with travel. In some ways, anything that has to do with fortune, good fortune. And if you see Sagittarius in the 8th house, it could be something that has to do with debt or taxes concerning foreign countries. But like again, remember Jupiter is travel and Jupiter rules Scorpio, so it could be that too. So when you get your free report, you definitely want to get familiar with what's in the 8th house. And that's all your psychic stuff too, tarot cards, angel cards. Now, your 11th house is Pisces with Mars. Your 11th house is friends, association, groups. So you're going to be like an inspiration to these friends, association, and groups. But you got Mars there for a reason. So you would say, well, why would Mars be there? So the first thing we're going to try to do is find out the whole Mars and Pisces in 11th house and see if anybody will answer that. Because a lot of times they don't like to say Mars and Pisces. They don't like to go like a planet and a sign in a house. They just want to go Mars in the 11th house or Pisces in the 11th house. Like they'll go Mars and Pisces, but they won't go Mars and Pisces in the 11th house. They'll do like either or. Either one of them, but not both. So we know Pisces in the 11th house is going to be inspirational, possibly spiritual with your friends, association, and groups. Because that's what the 11th house is, the community. And the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, and Aquarius is all about the community. So we can just go right into Mars and Pisces. All right. This person calls himself Good Golly Astrology. Mars in Pisces. But they call that person a love addict. Yeah, see, your eighth, wherever you see Scorpio in your 8th house, that could be about obsession, stalking, codependent. So, for the Mars and Pisces person, to love and be loved is a compulsion. It's an all-consuming drive that affects every part of their lives. It is their demon, their madness, and the monkey that will never leave their backs, even when they are old and gray. Obviously, this compulsion to love makes these people very vulnerable. They have a very acute sensitivity to feelings and emotional situations. And like I said, that's going back to that Taurus in the 12th house, because Taurus is very sensual. And Taurus likes to eat too, likes massages and all that. And if Taurus is in the 5th house, like if you're out having fun, that Taurus in the 5th house, they'll be out having fun. They just start spending all their money because they get caught up. So because they're like that, they just become more acute of their sexual attractiveness. Because like I said, like that female, me and the other dude was behind the counter. And she was working on the other one, the female I was talking about earlier. She was working on like a cross at the cashier. But every time she didn't have no customers, she came and she jumped over the counter and she went next to that dude. And like she was like, she's the whole time he's working, she's like real close to him and stuff. So that's what I'm talking about. All that, it just depends. You could say, wow, she's a flirt. Like she's like really. Because as soon as I seen her, that's what I thought. Because she just had all this energy and she was like just how she was. Soon as I said, oh, this chick is a flirt and shit. And then when I watched it the next day, I was like, well, no, because she talks to everybody. She talks to old people the same way. And that I said, shit, you know, because you don't see that too often around here. So, but this is what they're saying. That's that kind of person, like because that's how they are. So it's already going to be perceived as, you know, sexually attractive or flirtatious or whatever. Because anybody know it don't take much for a man to become, you know, attracted. So when you got some beautiful female all close to him while he's working and she's asking him questions like, what are you doing and all that shit, you know that's turning him on easy. So with Mars and Pisces, we confront the essence of sex appeal. But see, in 11th house, that's what I'm trying to tell you. See, the 11th house is ruled by Aquarius, and this is just other people. See, it's not like one person. This is like this type of appeal is going to be being put on people. And she said, so this person will have the essence of sex appeal, an endlessly open heart of hearts that no amount of desire can completely fill. So Mars and Pisces lovers typically dominate relationships simply because of their power of the emotions they bring. They said if you deal with a Mars and Pisces lover, you will be plunging headlong into a sexual abyss, an emotional and sexual abyss. Because remember, Pisces is a water sign, so that's going to be emotions. And Scorpio, or the 8th house, is going to be very emotional. Because it's a lot of intensity with Scorpio, 8th house, and probably Pluto energy. So they have a mystical sensitivity to the feelings of other people. And they say they have little trouble finding partners who are up to the challenge. So they have the ability to lure people into affairs, but they also have a strong ability to survive them. They have emotional flexibility. And they can walk away from emotional crack-ups that will leave more sturdy souls in a straitjacket. So that's like, you know, when, let's say you the dude, let's just say you real good with the ladies, you know, and you like that. Like, you like that you can take women and ain't interested in you and make them interested in you and make them obsessed with you, and then you just leave them and break their heart and stuff. Well, this person will be the person that will flip the game on you. She will leave you brokenhearted and shit. Because you already heard him say this is mystical. This is mysticism and shit. And remember, that's Pisces, which is ruled by Neptune. But remember, Pisces rules the 12th house, where we started with everything with Taurus and everything. And they say that they thrive in the circumstances of emotional upheaval. And they typically do all they can to keep their romantic situations fluid and unfixed. So that's like the person you're cheating on your wife with or something. Or cheating on your girl with. And you're telling her that this has got to stop. I just came to tell you it's over. And just as fast as you saying that, she done got your zipper down and she's going in again and shit. So it's like, oh man, what did I get myself into? Deception and subterfuge often play large roles in the love lives of Mars and Pisces lovers. Remember, Neptune is a deceiver. He deals with idealism, and he tricks Pisces too, because he sends dreams in through Pisces. And that's why if you're ever working somewhere and all of a sudden like somebody just starts paying extra attention to you, usually they had a dream. You might not realize it, but they had a dream. Like if all of a sudden, like if I'm a guy, I'm minding my own business, and all of a sudden the female I work with ain't never show me no interest like that, all of a sudden starts showing me interest and shit, it's probably because she probably had a dream or something. But like I said, these people, the Mars and Pisces lovers, they can make you feel like, wow, this is it. But they're not there for that reason. So they can make you feel like, wow, this is it. But they're you know, you're going to get dropped at some point. And they're going to be fine. And you're going to be the one going, oh, why did she play game? You know? And so the needs and desires of a Mars and Pisces lover are so diffused and so prone to change that even they are often surprised at the direction they take. So they can deal with emotional security, but they can also thrive, it says, with a state of emotional flux. And it says they sometimes appear weak and vulnerable, and yet they are capable of the most amazing acts of emotional will. That's what I'm saying. So they might appear emotional vulnerable so that you fall for it, and then it gets flipped on you. They can be very loyal, but they can also be infuriatingly susceptible to romantic diversions. Now, she made sure whoever wrote this said infuriating. So I always warn people, you have to be careful. Now, that female I talked about at my job, let me just tell you something. And this is why I felt sad. I didn't even know who to talk to. Because like my channels have changed and stuff. And the newer people may not even know. relate to me talking like that. But I just felt bad about this female that I see at my job because she's like that. See, I worked this other job between 2014 and 2016. I didn't talk to a lot of people there, but one female I took a liking to. Me and her were really close, but she was like beautiful, everything about it, just like this one, extremely beautiful. But she had her own car. This one had her own car. She had 2 jobs. I mean, she was just a beautiful, beautiful soul. But now, what happened with her was she lived. I guess she lived with some of her relatives or whatever, and her aunt lived there because her aunt was the manager, the floor manager. And so they were used to like men coming over or whatever, just whatever going on, saying hello or whatever the case might be. But see, you can't do that. So the man knew she was there because she was still younger. You know, she was still young. She probably was even breaking 18 or 19. She had her whole life ahead of her, going to college and stuff. And so he knew she was there, and he knew when to come over there. And so he came over there when nobody else was there, and he raped her. And not only did he rape her, he threw her down the steps and stuff. So now she's messed up for the rest of her life. And that hurt, because like that was like one of the only people at my job I actually even spoke to. Like me and her were just cool, like from almost like from day one. She was just cool people. So you see stuff like that and you get mad because you're like, why did it have to be her? And why did it have to be the one person that I really cared about? And then you see it again almost at this job. And then you want to tell a person, you know, well, what can you say? Because then she might think you're the nut job. You know, she might think you're the one that would do that. You're trying to help her, but you know, she don't know you. Why would nobody else says that to her? So why would you say it? But that's because I have more experience and stuff, and I know this kind of stuff. Because she's real vulnerable. She's vulnerable because she's, you know, just wants to talk to people and flirt and likes attention and stuff. And she just to her it's just life. It's just being a lifeful female. But somebody else will catch her out there. Like somebody else will take it, you know, take it like the other one. But it is what it is. So it says, no wonder it's hard to get a straight story from a Pisces Mars or Mars and Pisces. They're very sexy, but they're also slightly delirious. Now, why are they delirious? Because Mars is a deceiver. They rarely have a clear idea of what it is they want. So they're essentially sensual. And that's why I keep telling you that's how Taurus is. So with that Pisces ruling the 12th house, so this is probably an extremely sexual person, but also extremely beautiful person. Because that's what a Taurus tends to be. Extremely beautiful, extremely attractive. Plus they have a magnetic attraction. So they say there is no other Mars type that is prone to sex as much as Mars in Pisces. So they say their capacity for finding a replacement for emotional security and the momentary comfort and release of meaningless sex is probably the most dangerous and certainly the most heartbreaking quality of this type. So all I can say is be careful. Cause like I say, like I knew the female, but I didn't know her whole story. But she was just nice, man. Like the one I'm talking about that they did that, that the guy did that to her. She was just really nice, but she was above all those people up in that building. It was only like 2 females in that whole building that really had like what I would call like they're just above. I'm not putting nobody down. It might sound like I am, but I'm not. But like it was only 2 females in that whole building. Like all them people, they really had like really had goals and had class and stuff. You know, really like we really would be dressed up. No, it was one other one, but she didn't last that long. She got fired. But most of them people they wasn't really on that level. And so sometimes people are being really nice and that could be taken the wrong way. And maybe they do flirt a little bit, but For a guy to do something like that, he was obviously crazy, and he was a sociopath. But this is what I be trying to tell people. But nobody wants to listen to me. And I get emails from females that find out the hard way because they don't listen. But you just can't put yourself in you can't put yourself in situations where something bad could happen to you, because like sex is like powerful. It's just powerful. It's unbelievable. It's mystical and it's very powerful. So that is kind of like, it's not just the warning I'm giving, but that's the warning that they're giving. And I don't even know why they put it in the 11th house, because that's the most spooky house. That's like when somebody gets murdered, and because they associated with so many people, they don't know which one who did it. You understand? And I be trying to tell women, just like I see that Sagittarius in the 8th house. See, that's the woman that just leaves and don't tell nobody where she's going. You know what I'm saying? Like, just leave, and they be going like, where the fuck is she at? And that's like, you could be dead. You could be stuffed under, and don't nobody know because you didn't tell. Like me, I'm a grown ass man. You still gonna know where the fuck I'm at. You know what I'm saying? No, listen. If y'all see, if I don't show up, I was over Rico's house, his old crazy ass. If you don't see me again, go see Rico and shit. Even that rapper said that. Triple X said that shit. He said, if I end up dead, go see Drake. And then when Sonetta got into it with Polite, he said, listen, if I end up dead, go see Polite and shit. Like, I'm that type of dude. I'm not going nowhere where don't nobody know where I'm at. So that's why I said females, especially anybody hearing this, nobody's not telling you how to live your life, but don't be silly. Because it's like, you're going to be the one that's dead, and all they're going to be able to do is throw you a quick funeral and get on with their life. No matter how much they cry, but you still ain't coming back. I don't care how much they cry, and I don't care how serious they are. You still ain't coming back. But that's why you also got to think, not just feel. That's how I started this whole video off. You got to also learn how to think as well. Because when you learn how to think, you got to realize you don't know what you're doing to that man when you being overly. Like, this person's going to be overly, over the top. And that's kind of like how she is, but that female that I work with, she's kind of like that. Like, she'll just come up on you or be talking to you or be like, you working, and she'll just come up real close to you and stuff and be asking what you doing and asking all these questions. So you just got to remember, you don't know what you're doing to him by doing stuff like that. Not saying it's even wrong. I'm not even going to say it's wrong. What I am saying is you don't know what you're doing when you're doing that. And some females do that a lot, and they just get called a flirt. Oh, she's just a flirt. She don't want to, she just like attention or something. And then some females, you know, some dudes are more aggressive and they just more sneaky, and they know how to take a female that really is just flirting and make her do more, because like they love doing that shit. And when I was younger, I probably loved doing the same shit. So just got to be careful. At the end of the day, that's all I'm saying. I'm not telling people how to live their life, but be careful, because you already saw the words that came out. They said words like that mean death, and infuriating is somebody beating the crap out of you. And now Mars is going, if Mars Mars is already retrograde. See, she got that Mars in Pisces, so you have to be very careful. And what you have to understand with a reading like this, that might be why Spirit told me to make sure you give them the reading, because that might be a warning to you. So, you know, take it for what it's worth. And they say this person would definitely be a heartbreaker. Now this is her. This is the person who wrote this. She's starting to preach. I wanted to preach, but I kept my mouth shut. But this person started preaching. They said Mars in Pisces not only disrupts their lives, but also the lives of the people who love them. But I got to add, also, like somebody might have a girlfriend, so you're fucking her up, or a wife, you're fucking them up. It says, yet they are so lovable. Because, like I said, that female I work with, that's how she is. She's so lovable. But so was the other one. She knew how to dress. Like, everything about her was, like, unbelievable and stuff. But that's not why I liked her. I just liked her because she had her shit together. To be that young, she had a car. Because most of the people up in there ain't have no car. She had 2 jobs. She had everything going. And the reason why I'm kind of mad, because I really hate to say this, but I think if it wasn't for her aunt, because me and her aunt always used to get into it. Her aunt, you know, her aunt just was, you know, thought she knew everything. She was good at what she did, but she just thought she knew everything. And me and her aunt used to always get into it. But you know, like I said, I'm smart enough to know you don't have no men and no house around no women, because you don't know what the men are thinking. and you don't know what's really on a man's mind. And when he's alone, if he sees you out there, he can become very vulnerable. And so you have men that are crazy enough to rape you and then kill you so that you can't even identify them. You got to know this stuff. Like I said, let me just say one thing. When I was a teenager, I had a girlfriend. I loved her so much. And I was trying to tell her how men really think. So this is what she said to me. She said, that's not how men really think. That's how you think. And she just left. She like walked away from me. And I felt so bad that I tried to help her. And she didn't get it. But there was nothing I could do. And then one day she was in the gym room sitting on the higher up bleachers. She was higher up, but there were a group of guys below her. And they forgot she was sitting there. So they was talking about how they manipulate women and what they do to women and how they and everything they were saying was what I told her. So she came back up to me and she apologized because she said that's really how they think. And that's why when this election came and they were trying to say that's how men talk in the locker room, and then they would say, no, it's not. It's just how you talk in the locker room because you don't have no respect for women and you're a sleazeball. No, I used to be in locker rooms, and that is how most men. I'm not saying all of them, but that is how men talk in the locker room. So we could play this game all we want. But see, if I was a female, my number one concern would be ain't nobody killing me. Ain't nobody raping me. It ain't that much sexy in the world that somebody gonna just take it from me and kill me or whatever. So you gotta sometimes protect yourself. You can't always just go with your feelings because your feelings could put you in a situation where it's dangerous. So I said these people can break your heart, but because they're so lovable and desirable and romantic, that it's always easy to forgive them, even when they've hurt you. And it said, but that's why they continue to behave badly, because they know they'll be forgiven. It said it's just so damn easy to fall in love with them all over again. Don't that feel like a love song from the 1970s? He said it's just so damn easy to fall in love with them all over again. You think the world's had enough of silly love songs? I look around me and I see it isn't so. Oh no. That's Paul McCartney. And what was it? Paul McCartney and Wings. I Love You from the 1970s. Years after the Beatles. Help! I need somebody. Help! Not just anybody. All right. So where are we at now? All right, now your true north node, and see you're the master teacher at 11 degrees. Your true north node is a horseshoe, is Aquarius, and that is your 10th house. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That's your career. Aquarius is going to be teaching the communities. And medium Coeli can be your career, but also your life purpose. So that is your career, to teach the community of people, to help them. But see, Aquarius rules your 11th house where Pisces is. So you will be an inspirational leader as well. So that is your 10th house and your 11th house. And now what became your 12th house, that was your 11th house, is Aries. But that's aggressive. We might as well, because we already know what it is. Aries is aggressive love. Oh, just so because I didn't mention. Sometimes when you do your natal chart is also talking about your twin soul. Now that's the person who has the same soul as you in a different body. That's your twin flame. You can also have a soulmate, but that's a same soul group, same soul family. But your twin soul is your twin flame. And sometimes like on your chart, you might say that's not even my personality, but that could be your twin's personality. Because you see all that Taurus there in the 12th house. So, 12th house that became the first house. And remember, the number 18 degrees is like 666, which is like perfect love. So here you got aggressive, Aries aggression, but Venus is right there. And that's like kind of like your 12th house as well. So you almost got a sun, and your 12th house is really now your first house. And then you got Venus that's in the 12th house that it is now. But that's aggressive, Aries aggressive, love. And see, you're even a priestess. See, now your Vesta, that's where you burn out at. So wherever you see Vesta at 18 degrees, you have to slow down and take a break, because that's where you burn out at in this house, which is now your 12th house, because it's aggression. But see, Vesta also can be like a sexual priestess. She can also be a spiritual priestess, because what I just told you, for some people, sex is spirituality. It is mysticism, sex magic, and all that. I mean, because that one time that female spoke to me, the universe kept putting us together, and we could feel it. And she knew. That's why as soon as I started talking to her, she was talking right back to me, because she knew. She knew it was destined to happen and shit. That's another one I work with. That's the one that I be seeing all them tigers and shit. And I think she's from Dominican Republic. All right. So you got that sexual priestess stuff going on, and which is now your 12th house, even though it says 11, but it's now your 12th, and it's an aggression. It's an aggression there. So again, you got to reckon with that, and whatever I said about your 12th house with Taurus, 12th first house, you can apply a lot of that to your 11th house, which is now the 12th house, because you're still going to be showing people how to use that energy, but in a good way. And like I said, some of this stuff is implying like sexual group sex and all that stuff. I'm gonna leave that one alone, because only you know your life, and you have to know stuff like that. But of course, people got to know how to protect yourself, try to avoid getting sexual diseases, and just other stuff. So you got a lot of love in that house too, and this is sexual love, Vesta and Venus with an Aries aggression. Because even in the next house, we're at Mars with Pisces, because Mars rules Aries. So all those houses are basically saying to me almost the same thing. This is almost like a group sexual type situation. And it's almost like a spiritual. So now I want to try to find, I'm going to say guardian angel. Venus in the 12th. I'm going to put this on pause. I'll be back. All right. Where we at as far as time? All right. Let me see. We'll keep going. Now, for me, my audio, I'm just gonna make this part 1, cause this gets real funny. If I let my audio go past 2.5 hours, then it might be some issues sometimes. Sometimes it's not, but it's just safer to let it go. To just right now, it's at 2 hours 28 minutes. Make this part for me. It's my audio will be part 1, part 2, but to you, you'll hear the same thing. But I'm just trying to avoid any complications when I try to turn this into a video. I'll be back. Alrighty. So we're going to Venus in the 12th house. This is 8 and 12 houses astrology. Well, it's 8 and 12 houses.com. 8, number 8, and number 12 houses.com. 8 and 12 houses.com. Alright, now this house is going to get tricky, because remember, your Venus is considered the 12th house now, because they made your 12th house into a first house. Otherwise, it will be the 11th house. But I already covered that. Because as crazy as it sounds, Venus and Aries in the 11th house with Vesta is a lot like Mars and Pisces. Let me do that again. Venus and Aries and Vesta in the 12th house is a lot like Mars and Pisces in the 11th house. There's going to be a highly sexual, like almost like a group activity community. Because even the 12th house deals with like people. So like the 11th house. All right. So we're dealing with Venus and Mars in the 12th house. And she'll say something about your guardian angel, but I don't know if she's going to give it a name. Let me just take another quick look to see if anybody gave that angel a name. All right. So we're gonna learn a little bit more about that guardian angel, because one thing, they hooked you up, because they really gave you 12 houses, but you got 2 guardian angels. Remember, Jupiter. Remember, Jupiter is Venus's father. Both Jupiter and Venus mean money. Venus is more like beauty, fun, like culture, dancing, love, diplomacy, forgiveness. All right. So they keep saying this person seeks solitude. Venus in the 12th house, this person seeks solitude. What they feel is seldom expressed. They may have a hidden love affair not known to others. They may have a crush or think they're in love with someone who is not free. And that's funny because they're saying that this person is evolved or like at a higher frequency. Then this person will have a stronger compassion and a desire to serve God through helping those less fortunate. But if they're not evolved, then all this is going to be about sex. All of this. This is like a sexual priestess. And she got, like, because I've seen it. I used to try to tell. In the book of Proverbs, this tells you. The book of Proverbs, the person who wrote this particular chapter It's telling a young man, you're getting ready to go down that street. And he says, at the end of that street, there's a woman waiting for you. And she's planned it all out. She's gotten dressed up. She knows you're coming down there. And when you get down there, she's going to just start with all these things to seduce you and stuff. That's coming right out the book of Proverbs. And I've seen that so many times. Like, I keep telling you, it's sexual magic. Just like David and Bathsheba. Why would Bathsheba be butt-ass naked publicly where she can be seen, allegedly taking a bath or some shit? And how did she do it right at the time where David woke up and went out there just to look at the stars, and ends up, whatever he does, he ends up seeing her and loses his fucking mind. And the moment he saw her, he was like, I gotta have her. I don't care. I'll kill anybody to get this. And I'm not giving her up. God's gonna have to rip her out of my hands because I'm not giving her up. So that's sexual magic. And that's what happens. Venus in this 12th house is extremely protective and denotes a guardian angel that guides and protects, though the individual might not know it. Well, now you do. So she's got like 2 guardian angels. One from Jupiter energy and one from Venus. And Jupiter is like the father to Venus. Now, if you want a free book called The Art of Astrology, you can go to www.astrologicalsociety.us. Or you can just say in a search engine, like Yahoo search engine, The Art of Astrology, astrologicalsociety.us. And it should still take you there. All right. Discover who is your angel based on your birth chart. I believe we said sun sign Taurus. Oh, but they're doing this based on Doreen Virtue's cards. So she says because this woman's sun sign is Taurus, her Archangel is Chamuel. See, I don't have any planets in my 12th house, but Taurus is there. And that is Chamuel. But me and Chamuel, like, I was on Doreen Virtue's angeltherapy.com website when Chamuel introduced himself to me. And I knew right then, I knew this, he's the real deal. Me and Chamuel best friends. He does. He finds stuff that's lost, and he'll bring it to you. That's happened so many times. It's not. So that's your Taurus energy. All right. So I'm going to say Elsa, Venus, 12th house. All right, let me do some. I don't know if I've ever finished reading this. All right, so let's do this again. This is 8th and 12th houses astrology. 8 and 12 houses astrology. So this person may suffer through love affairs or cause suffering. So that she says you definitely have a guardian angel with Venus energy watching over you, but they never say the name of that guardian angel. It says when you are at your lowest point and almost ready to give up hope, the universe answers your prayers in many ways. You are always protected and you are guarded more than others around you by invisible forces. So you got a Jupiter guardian angel and you got a Venus guardian angel. And Jupiter is the father of Venus. And that's both love and finances. And Venus is also finances. Now they're saying that your love might be kept secret from others. But see, your 11th house is not like that. So your love may be kept secret from others, but it also seems like you'll be very, when it comes to that area, you would almost be very public with it. You'll be attracted to someone who is not free. You may fall in love or have a crush on somebody who's already married or committed to someone else. Now, you may have these kind of affairs like with married people, married men. And because you got a strong Aquarius energy, it may not just be with men. It may be even same sex. Or they tend to fall in love with somebody they could not be with. And you keep a lot of your feelings hidden and repressed. And they say some of these people with Venus in the 12th house, they may not cheat on their partner, but inside their head and emotions they do. They say you have to learn how to look within and be honest about your emotions. But again, it keeps saying you're attracted to people who have pain or some type of, I'm not just going to say pain, dark sides or, just out there. It could be a loser. It might be a thug or a bad boy or something. But some stuff, that's what you're attracted to. Or that might be even what attracts yourself too. And you're attracted to partners who have been wounded. You fall in love with people that need your help and you feel you need to take care of in some way. But remember, what the other one said was it's not so much she's falling in love with these people. What she's using like I said, this is mysticism. Because they say she can make you think she's in love with you and then just walk away. That's mysticism, like games, sexual magic, and all kind of stuff. Could also be sexual healing or whatever. I dated a Kenyan that was like that. And she is real good at what she did, but at the end of the day, it was what it was. And when you don't know no better, when you don't know astrology, you just call a person a hoe or something. But when you understand this is exactly what it is. And not saying you can't have special moments, because I know my Kenyan was my soulmate too. Not my twin soul, but she's my soul. She still shows up on her birthday. All kind of supernatural stuff be happening and shit. And without her, I don't think I'd be half who I am. I mean, that was she. If there was any woman that I had that soul, like deep soul connection when it was her, I don't think I had any deep soul connection with anybody but that Kenyan. And I had a lot of different females, but we didn't have that deep soul connection. But then, this is what I'm warning you about. Some of the people you attract in yourself may not be mentally stable. So that's my biggest warning to you. Because what I'm seeing, it's kind of like you're in some mystic sexual priestess stuff. But you're using a lot of feelings and stuff, but you're not using a lot of thinking ability. And what happens is, see, you may think you're helping healing, you're helping healing this guy that's down in the dumps or whatever, and you're using sex and healing him, and you're flirting with him, and you're looking him in his eyes and all that crazy shit. But then now this dude is like stalking your ass because he's a nut job. You see? So I know it's difficult, but sometimes when we think, like if I'm a female and I'm home alone and I know some guys might come around here, everything's gonna be fucking locked. And I'm also gonna have my fucking phone and shit. Cause you might say, oh, I don't want to live like that, but the truth of the matter is, you're either gonna live in such a way that you're inviting energies into your life that may not be advantageous. They could even be dangerous. So you're already inviting it into your stuff. So now if you're gonna invite it, you gotta learn how to be protected. You gotta learn, That's what I try to tell people. It's like I saw a movie one time, and a woman used to just sell telephone sex because she thought it was good money and safe job and all that. And like I think Spike Lee made that movie, and so somebody was warning her saying you shouldn't even do that. She said, "Why not? You're making all this money. This dude doesn't know where I'm at. He can't find me or something." And somehow he did. Like that was just a crazy movie. You don't know how they could find you, but like I'm gonna tell y'all, we live in a crazy world, man. To keep it 100, there's a female that lives right next door, and there's been some crazy shit with her. But she used to be right in this room, right across from the room I'm in. She was in a room right over. And she always left that window open, and she'd be singing all loud and shit. She was on some Bathsheba shit, to be real. And one time she even parked her car like on my side, even by the window, like she wanted me to see her and shit. And because she didn't even need to do that. She got plenty of space over there. And then another time I happened to just look out the door and I seen her. She was walking, and she walked all the way to the street and kind of looked to see if my car was parked over there. Now I don't know her. Me and her have had relatively no conversations. Nothing. Other than maybe some just seeing them outside of some stupid shit, but there was no conversations and shit. So I don't know why she's that interested anyway. But this is what I'm talking about, the mysticism and all that crazy shit. So she was doing her best to try to eject herself into my consciousness or whatever as much, but like I've been doing this for a long time, so I wasn't trying to do nothing with that. Like one day I went outside and the water in her backyard was just running from the hose. Like somebody had unscrewed the hose and just turned the water on, and wasn't nobody back there, and it was just running. So that caused me to go over there to tell her, turn the water off, because I had to tell her 2 times. I mean, I only told her for 2 reasons. First off, you're going to have a high water bill. Second off, you're destroying your side because she had concrete underneath that water, that the water was hitting the concrete and going to destroy it. And third, all that water is going to get on our yard because the houses are next together, separated by a fence, and then our grass is going to be all high and stuff. So, but the devil will find a way to make y'all have a connection. And then right after I had that, that's when she parked the car over, to the window, like she was trying to get me to notice her something. And then I never really fed into it. And then one day she was sitting in that room or whatever, and I was sitting in this room, and I kind of got the feeling, because I'm real intuitive, and I got the feeling that you know what I'm saying? I got the feeling that she was trying to, like she was using her intuition to try to size me up, and then I was using my intuition to say, why is she, like it was some psychic shit, like why is she sizing me up? And then from then on, she kind of moved out that room, but I was always praying because she used to be real loud singing, and even in the wintertime, she would have that. And I don't know no black people that have their windows open in the wintertime. She would have that window open, singing all loud and blasting her music. So she was doing everything to try to get me to notice her or some shit. But I've seen this my whole life. This is nothing new. That's why I know all about sexual magic, and it's a form of occultism or witchcraft and all that shit. And if you really study Bathsheba, because Sheba is also East Africa, all that shit. And my Kenyan was like that. And she was a master at what she did. In my whole life of women, I never met nobody like my Kenyan. That chick put that work in. I mean, she was a master at what she did, sexually speaking. So they're warning this person that you got to be careful, because some of these people you're going to be attracting to yourself are going to be unhealthy, mentally unstable, or worse. And they always warning her against depression, or some of the people she's attracting as depression. They say, but because of, any type of 12th house or Pisces energy, you have a fantasy. Like, you see good in all people, but all people ain't good. You can be blinded by love, and you can ignore all the red flags of disaster. And that's what I'm trying to tell you to do. You got to learn how to think, because otherwise you're going to be avoiding red flags. Like, to me, this is why this happened. Because like I said, I already knew by intuition you had to get this. Maybe that's a warning from the universe to be careful. Even now, you might be dealing with somebody right now. You're getting that warning to be careful. And that's what all that Aquarius energy is. This type of person, the outcast, the person that's been wounded, the person they think's a weirdo. Say you're a natural codependent. You're going to definitely experience secretive relationships. All right. So like I said, that's another guardian angel. So you have a Venus guardian angel. You have a Jupiter guardian angel. But again, nobody's really giving any names. Of these angels. It says, find your guardian angel through astrology. Now this one is called TrueStar.com, and they kind of give you an answer, but they give you the name. Like, their names we don't like. See, this is Eastern. These are Hindu names and names from India, so we wouldn't know who they were. We would have to be able to translate those names into our, because we're Western. All right, the 12th house astrology place. So if you have either Venus and Jupiter in the 12th house, which you do, that's how psychic she is. That's why I keep trying to. She's a high priest. She's like a priestess, but it's like it's on a sexual thing, because that's what she has. She has Venus, and like I keep trying to tell you, her 12th house is still like her first house, but 11th house is like her 12th house. So she has both. Like, she's on two different time realities. She's on two different time realities. That's like some of y'all that are listening to me. You've had people around you that you saw stuff, but you just don't accept it because it doesn't make logical sense to you. But you've seen supernatural stuff with those people, but you just don't want to follow through with it because you don't. I don't want nobody saying I'm crazy. But some people here are not on the same time frame as you. Like, I remember it's a guy here called the 13th Son, and he was with his girlfriend, and they went out, and it was like they were a crowd of people. Everywhere they went, it was the summertime. It was a crowd of people. But every time they got in a line, there was no line. Like, every time they went it was no line. They would just order their stuff, get it, and keep it moving. And they said there's nowhere in the world we could be walking up to all these lines with all these people and never wait in line. Everybody else is waiting in line. How come we never had to wait? because they're on some different. It's some other shit we don't understand. And you see stuff like that all the time, but like a lot of us are moving so fast that we don't really see it. All right. So a lot of advice was given there. So now we're going to, and see, now you start seeing a lot of retrogrades. Because if you notice, none of her planets that I know of that we did so far had retrogrades. None of her, okay, except for Mercury, and that's really just people have trouble understanding you. When you communicate, it's hard. So you have to find a way to be able to communicate so people can understand you. But now we're going into the 7th house and the 9th house. And I'm going to tell you both relationships, houses, and a lot of retrogrades. And you often see this in people's charts. Like as soon as you get into relationships, you start seeing a whole lot of retrogrades. All right. I'll be back in a moment. All right. So now, 7th house is a relationship house for partnerships, legal matters, open enemies, and contracts. But now they like that is Scorpio. And whenever you see Pluto retrograde, that means something's going to be taken away in order for you to transform. But this is a very powerful house. It's going to be very emotional with Pluto and a lot of power struggles, sexual stuff, and you can see the infidelity because Juno means you're going to be in a serious relationship. That little asterisk means you're going to be in a serious relationship with some type of pretty much Scorpio energy. You could say Libra energy. And Lilith is the same way. Because you got a lot of moon energy in this house with the moon. And they call Lilith like the black moon. But this is just an explosive sexual house. But there's not just power struggles, things like that. And because this is all dealing with the soul, dealing with reincarnation, death, and rebirth, something going down but coming back up in the 7th house. Very psychic person, very psychic house in those areas I just got finished saying. And definitely was infidelity there with Juno retrograde. So you have to really get familiar with everything that's in the 8th house on your free report. Because your 7th house is your 8th house. Because of Scorpio and Pluto. And Pluto retrograde usually means something is going to be taken so that you can grow. But it can also mean scandal. Even with Lilith can mean scandal too, especially under these circumstances with Pluto retrograde in Scorpio. Probably a lot of secrecy here, and that's why you got Juno. So you can call it what you want, but it is kind of like a karmic relationship, kind of, because it's a lot of purging going on. And you even see the number 17, because that's a number for karma as well. And if you notice, Juno's at 17 with no degrees. Now I guarantee, just follow me. I mean, it says 17 degrees with no minutes, no minutes, no minutes, no minutes. Now I guarantee if you look at every other number on this chart, everyone has a minute, a quantity of a minute, some type of minute a minute. You understand? This is the only one that is 00, right at Juno. So that's a karmic relationship, because 17 is karma. Now, the eighth house could signify some type of long separation, long distance separation. Usually, the Gemini energy is the early stages where people break up, and the Sagittarius energy is when they get back together. But in this case, it looks like the seventh house is really dramatized. And then when you look in the eighth house, it ain't nothing there but just Sagittarius. So that just, like, I see that as meaning a long separation. Like, they're separated by, distance, maybe a long time frame. Because remember, Saturn deals with time as well. And then finally, which we would call a ninth house. The ninth house is, again, Capricorn. So it could be a career, but Capricorn is career and reputation. And that vertex means that you're going to have some type of meeting, some type of breakup, some type of fated event, some type of coming together with someone or something. It could be a soul mate, or it could be your twin soul in the ninth house. Which, again, meaning someone could be foreigner. Neptune retrograde generally means escapism, which we already talked about. But it could also mean people are more in tune with their intuition, and Neptune retrograde makes them question what's perceived as the truth. So they'd be more inclined to question, and that's what Sagittarius does anyway. So there's a lot of questioning going on in this eighth house. Now, whether this person has some type of career with it, or somehow the reputation is involved. But Uranus is unpredictable. The nice guy, all of it, like the quiet person, all of a sudden becomes very loud and rowdy, or the rowdy person all of a sudden becomes very quiet and timid. So there's a lot of unpredictability there. Saturn rules Capricorn. Saturn retrograde can mean having problems with authority. And again, this is the ninth house, which could be higher law. But Saturn retrograde could also mean you have to slow things down and do it right the first time. Sometimes you'll think you completed things and find out you still have to do it again. And Saturn retrograde could also be out of control. So they definitely have some in Sagittarius, the ninth house is your higher self. So they definitely have some higher self, ninth house issues going on in the ninth house. And if you're gonna file, see, because you got Neptune and Uranus both retrograde, but they're right there. We already know what Uranus and Aquarius is. It's basically saying, hey, I'm a lover. You want this person wants to spread the love around, like with a Mary Jane. You understand? And Mary Jane, that song is all. We may never have seen it that way, but if you really think about what I was saying on this chart, that's what that song. It is about escapism because he's singing about marijuana, you know. But then he's making marijuana be promiscuous. Oh yeah, she loves to spread her loving all around. Like all the guys want to Mary Jane, yeah. But it's escapism, staying high and everything. And that's what we've been talking about on this chart. So therefore Capricorn could also mean reputation is kind of foiled. Because they say, oh, you know, she's promiscuous. No, she's a heartbreaker. And the ninth house could also mean like second marriages or second you break up with somebody and get back together. But this one just looks to me like it's going to be some type of, you know, it could be some legal issues. Because the ninth house is law too, but it's just higher law or foreign law or stuff like that. So as far as a relationship, you can see it's plagued. It's plagued with power struggles and people changing personalities and all kind of stuff going on. Like even that woman said, be honest with yourself, because that's the only advice I really can. Because I could sit here and give advice, but the bottom line is, you know, this is a highly sexual situation, unbelievably sexual, one way or another. And some people tell you, because they say, hey, listen, if it's on my chart, you know, why not go ahead and do it? And I used to answer that question from like a spiritual answer, but now I just say I don't know. Like I don't know. You gotta make your own decisions. But I'm always gonna see life as a whole. Like I said, like with David and Bathsheba. I mean, God was in control of everything that happened anyway. Because Bathsheba became the mother to Solomon, who became the next king after David. So God knew what he was doing, but he still made David pay for it. He still made David pay because David had took murder, killed somebody. But you know, God knew he was going to do all that anyway. But somebody might say David could have just, you know, found a different way to commit murder and concealing it. But from his perspective, there was no other way. And plus, he knew he could have lost the kingship because God said no adulterers. So the more you do this stuff and learn, like this was a good natal chart to just deal a little bit about that what I call sexual magic. But it's in the Bible because that's what I'm showing you with Bathsheba. That's what that all was about. And that's still a witchcraft. That's the witch. And all that stuff. But and they told you that Solomon built the temple off of evil spirits. But Solomon was born from this type of sex. Murderous, violent. How a righteous man like David for the most. But David was a murderer too. But he was a soldier. But he was killing people too, left and right. So Solomon was born from this type of sex. It's occultic sex and all that. In the Bible, it talks about the bottomless pit. And that's the womb. That's where everything comes out of, the womb. And then in the Bible, they call it the deep and the darkness. That's what everything comes out of, the womb. That's Genesis 1, John chapter 1, Revelation 9. And then when you pray the Lord's Prayer, you say that. You say, Our fat her, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. See, our fat her, which. So if I said it's a witch outside, you might say, well, what do you mean? Those type of people that come outside or come out on Halloween say, yeah, that's exactly what I'm telling you. So our fat her, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. And if you understand what I just told you, that's what Bathsheba was. She was that witch, and this was some type of sexual magic and some sexual stuff where David couldn't get to sleep because David should have been asleep, but he couldn't get to sleep. And then he got the idea to go up on the roof and maybe look at the stars, but then he gets up on the roof, and while he's looking around up there, wow, what is this female doing out here butt ass naked? And he's got to have her, and he's not taking no nose for nothing. So all that's sexual magic, that's sexual witchcraft, that's occultism and all that. And you see that in the Bible. I just told you, our fat her, which art in heaven, hollow. But hollow is the divine womb. It's the bottomless pit of Revelation 9. And that's why when we celebrate Halloween, you're celebrating the divine womb of the divine feminine. And that's why Halloween is about people coming out of the underworld. So all this stuff is there. So that's what this is. So that's why I said I could give you a religious answer for all of this, but I can't. Because each person has got to make their own thing up. But this chart is deadly. And I'm going to tell you why. Because the guy, her twin, or whoever that is, her other side, they got a whole lot of Pluto retrograde and Scorpio. That's very volatile. Saturn retrograde, Uranus, and Neptune. That's very volatile. And then if she's sleeping around with other people or fooling around with other people, some of these people might come get her. So this is a very volatile chart. One that the person has to be very, very careful. But I can't tell a person, oh, you need to take this route and get yourself together and blah, blah, blah. Because I don't know no more. You know. I don't know no more. I really can't tell you what to do. I can only tell you what I do. But that's it. That's the purpose of this. Remember, we got all kind of sales going on, discounts. Remember, we're getting ready to have a Friday the 13th, new moon. That's in Friday is Venus's day. So get ready for that. And then that's July 13th. And July 27th, we have the blood moon. And Aquarius with Mars retrograde. Jupiter just went direct. Venus is in Leo. I'm getting ready to go outside, and Venus is going to be in Regulus. That's Leo's heart. Because I got heart trouble, but my heart is starting to get better. But I know that's because of the universe. As above, so below. So if you don't have our most recent services offered and priceless, contact me. All this is in the description box. Or if you don't remember, you can place your order. And we got discounts still going on right now. And I was going to say something else, but something fell, so I don't really remember. Oh yeah, and for people that want to get started, I think the information is right in the description box. You can just get started. And if you're not sure, then just contact me, and I'll still give you the information. God bless.